Well, if it is our wonderful podcast listener, the ones that all of us on Hams love the most. Dana here to give you a little gentle reminder to hit up our friends at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning and tune up that AC before it fully turns into crotch soup season. June through August are Standard's busy season for getting AC units up to snuff, so get ahead of the curve and have them ensure you don't have a summer where you pit out every shirt you own. Book in May during their pre-summer heat savings event, and you'll beat the rush and save yourself some walking around money. Call Standard Heating today or visit standardheating.com. Enjoy the show. We sincerely appreciate you checking us out each and every day.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. 93
Let me tell you something right here from the get-go, Josh. Some mornings, when that alarm starts ringing, you just want to break down and cry like a child. Not today. Not on Ultimate F-Off Day.
Today's different, isn't it?
It is.
It's a different feeling.
Welcome to the Half-Assed Morning Show. Today is our final before we enjoy a week away from the silliness of working for a living. But don't think it changes our feelings at all for our wonderful listening audience. Matter of fact, the absence will only make us love you that much more. This is it for us. Please, everyone and all of y'all in our listening audience, drive safely this Memorial Day weekend. Don't drink and drive. Don't binge drink yourself to death. Don't shoot anyone. Don't get into a fight at your neighborhood bar. Don't pass your disgusting STD on to someone. Don't threaten people on social media.
Can I throw one out?
Very good advice.
Experience?
Don't expose yourself to people at a mall or anything like that. What were you going to add?
Well, here's the thing. If you do some of those safer ones, we'll have something to talk about next week. I mean, that's something to consider. Not next week, but the week we're back.
That's a good point.
None of the dangerous ones. But if I could give you a piece of advice from something that happened to me yesterday, if you got to go number 2, go as soon as you can. Otherwise, it might fill your pants, and it was quite a mess yesterday.
What
as a grown man,
happened?
and that hasn't happened to me in decades.
You pooped in your pants?
I did, yeah, as a grown man. And it was quite the mess.
Yeah, add that to the list.
Yeah.
Add that.
Don't
to the
do that.
Yeah.
I don't recommend it.
My God.
It was a whole process. What happened was there's only a couple places to go in this building, and I thought, well, I better go before I get home. And I tried, but they were all being used by inconsiderate coworkers, every single one of them.
Really? We have enough people to fill the stalls?
We did yesterday.
I know we only have 3 of them total.
There's only 3 of them.
Yeah, but still, I didn't know we had 3 people swinging through here.
Yesterday, in this building,
Yeah.
you're walking around, you can't find any place to go potty.
And you know how I am about my anus muscles. I'm a little overly confident. So I thought I can make it home. And I thought I did. And then when I got home, I had, set a couple things down, pet the dogs, that kind of thing. And I thought, all right, here I go. And then as I got upstairs, I thought, well, something feels a little off. I don't think it should feel like this. And like I said, as a grown man, I made a mess like a baby would. And it was absolute. I didn't even know what to do. It's been so long since I've been in that situation.
Your thoughts on all of this, Ashley?
Nothing really.
I had to call a neighbor.
A little uncomfortable.
I had to call a neighbor and ask him to come help me. It was terrible.
Wait a minute. Let me be clear on this. You walked in the house, you pet the dogs.
Yeah, like I said, I was overconfident.
And you decided, okay, now I will go to the bathroom.
I've got some time.
But, on your way up the stairs it happened? Or when did this,
I don't know.
When did it give way?
That's what I'm not sure. I just all of a sudden had a feeling.
When you took down your pants so when you took down your pants and underwears, you looked and saw that you had already gone to the bathroom?
Yeah, and I thought there's no way.
It's terrible.
That doesn't happen to me.
That's one of the worst stories I've ever heard.
When I crap my pants, I know I crap my pants.
I had no idea. Maybe that's a symptom of age. Some people might think, well, you gambled and lost. No, it wasn't a situation like that at all.
You did not feel any type of sensation leading up to the discovery that you had gone to the bathroom into your pants as a grown man.
It was a very last second feeling like something is not right.
This has been bizarre and disgusting.
I understand. Yeah, that's how I felt yesterday. I'm just recommending people don't wait. Just wait out the guy that's taking up the stall. Some people are recommending I should have called you, Ashley, to get some practice before you have your kid there.
No, thank you.
No.
What does that mean? Call Ashley to get some practice.
To give her some practice.
Diapers.
She'll be
Josh's
changing diapers
Oh, for
pretty
Christ's
soon.
sake, yes.
Yeah, take a look at her. She's pregnant over there.
Right.
Yeah.
She will be. Well, I am sorry, Josh.
And thank you. Plenty of people are saying, hey, welcome to 50. I hope this
really?
isn't what I have to look forward to.
God dang.
Oh, did I crap my pants again?
Yeah, I mean, man, I tell you what, only a shower took care of that. It was absolutely awful.
Man,
Just terrible.
what was going on?
I thought about going to the car wash. I didn't know what to do.
I am sorry.
I thought of calling you, Nick, because I know you've been in that situation
Many times, but I was aware of, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I knew what I was getting into when I removed my pants.
You know, I'm going to the butt doctor next week, and maybe I'll ask him, how does this happen to a guy? How does that happen?
Yeah, maybe you should bring that up. I think that's a good idea.
Especially with all your clean living. How does that happen through clean living? See, when I was having similar but also very different problems, I was very aware of everything that was happening to me. Somehow, yesterday, you were totally unaware. That happened to me because my lifestyle was that of a mid-70s semi-successful rock star. I drank and drank and drank and drank and ate garbage and never got any sleep and paired up with questionable women. You are having these problems and you're straighter than a Grizzlies D.
Yeah, usually it's the other way, and that's what people are saying, hey, look at the bright side. And trust me, I did. Trust me, I definitely did. It's better than the other way, but...
Well, I had no idea. And I'm sorry. So, I guess our message to our listening audience is...
Make better choices.
Make great choices.
Yeah.
Just have a nice weekend. And you know how a minute ago I was saying, don't go and expose yourself at a mall. You don't want to commit an act like that, Josh, leading up to Memorial Day, do you? That would make it even worse. The cops would say, you exposed yourself at a mall on Memorial Day? You don't have any respect at all? You know what I mean?
Wait a minute. When you respect for the holiday, respect for
everything,
okay.
everything. So there you go.
I mean, if you're going to do it, it's better than a late fall or winter holiday for exposure or something like that, I would say, if you have to do it. But a mall would be an inappropriate place. Just do it in your home on OnlyFans or something like that.
So with all of this drama yesterday, Josh, are you still going to have a house party tonight? Do you want to talk about your house party?
Sure. I have one question. I'll be hosting a house party for you folks.
You're nervous, aren't you?
Yeah, it's been something I've been nervous about. I only had one question, and I thought about texting your wife because I thought she'd know the answer about me hosting this house party. And just one question. How do you host a house party? I don't know if I'm going to be a good host.
You just hosted one a few years ago. What are you nervous about?
Do I, play music? Do I have some party lights going?
You have party lights? That's
I do
sweet.
have party lights.
No.
Nothing. I don't need that.
No party lights.
All right,
If you want
I
to
have enough seating.
I was excited for those.
Seating?
Yes, I have enough seating. I don't know how to cook, so I ordered Chipotle.
Do you really want to do this?
The party?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I want to hang out with you guys.
That all sounds great so far, Josh.
Yeah, throw a ball game on and we're all set. We're not picky
ball
people.
Game? Nobody told me I had to turn the TV on.
Don't put extra. Don't do this to him.
The man crapped his pants yesterday. He's already under enough stress.
He's tried to think of everything, and now you're throwing in the idea of turning on the television. Don't put any more pressure on the guy. He's nervous enough as it is. Hosting. You don't need any party lights. This isn't a rave.
Do I HVAC/R and stuff? Jesus wants to know if there's a theme. Do we make it a
No
theme
themes.
party?
No
Oh, yeah.
themes.
I tried to provide beverages that I know everybody likes.
I'm
Nick,
sure
I
you'll
got
have
you
plenty of that.
fancy cookies.
Oh, I like cookies.
Yeah, we'll have some fancy cookies.
It's
there.
going to be fine. You hosted a house party 4 or 5 years ago, and everything was fine.
Well, that was all outside, right? And so
in this case, we're going to be inside the house, and this has your anxieties peaked.
Yeah, because I primarily use 2 rooms in the house, so we'll be using rooms I don't even know how to use.
I like music, as my dad used to say, music. And when I host a party, I usually turn on some music. Other than that,
see, I don't
stop
have a pool
worrying
table
about it.
like you did. I was trying to think, what did you and your wife do? You had a pool table. I've got a ping pong table.
Forget that.
I've got a turtle.
You've got a turtle.
Oh, we get to meet Dude. I forgot about that.
Nobody
hang out with the
cares
turtle.
about your turtle. Just turn on some tunes. You got drinks. You got food. You said something about seating. That's all we're going to need. Don't worry about it, Josh.
Oh, for F's sake.
What now?
Somebody said hosting a party is all about how you hold your beer. Okay, we got to call this thing off. Dana wants to watch a ball game. That starts at 7. I don't even want you guys there at 7. That's too late. Hold a beer? I don't know how to hold a beer.
Everything is fine. Everything that you've put together is fine. Just my only question is, what's the entertainment going to be? Did you hire a hypnotist?
It's funny you say that. I should show you. Like, I made notes. Like,
There's got to be an entertainer, right? Has to be.
Yeah.
I wrote.
Sweet.
I made a note that simply said entertainment, and that meant, like, do we put on all the Rocky movies or, that kind of thing? Or do I somehow hire an entertainer? I didn't know. But I thought that might be annoying.
Wait a minute. You saying you did not hire entertainment? The parties tonight, you haven't hired any entertainment?
Well, I asked my wife, who's not going to be there, so we can have a lot of fun.
Mistake number 1, you never asked the wife.
She's kind of been helping me out in this.
A seance, nothing? We're not going to have any entertainment?
Maybe I'll buy a
That'd be sweet.
Ouija board.
All right.
Light some candles.
So you haven't
see what happens.
You've got nothing lined up.
No. But I got some time.
I was putting pressure on him by asking him to put a ball game
The
on.
party's in 12 hours. You don't have time to line up entertainment. You call yourself a host of a house party. It's 12 hours from go time. You don't have any entertainment lined up. This is
Try.
I'm supposed to drive all the way to Egan.
It is a long time. I know it's a long drive.
And all there's going to be waiting there for me is some cookies and a place to sit.
I said fancy cookies.
Ooh,
I cleaned the chairs. Actually, I threw Dana.
A bounce house? Nothing.
It's funny you say that.
Oh.
There's somebody in my neighborhood had a party like that where they I don't know what they had, but it was like kind of a big fancy trailer somebody brought out, and I thought, well, I'm going to look them up and see maybe there's something I could bring out. And it was more like wedding stuff. And Ashley, are you thinking you're getting married at my house?
It never crossed my mind.
Well,
no.
okay, I could do that. I have a trampoline.
Yeah, that's not cool.
That's
Trampolines are stupid.
But what's the difference in that and a bouncy house?
You can't, because
It's not a castle?
you can't
Yeah,
host
exactly.
a seance on a trampoline. You can in a bounce house. What is this?
What
People-
about a stripper?
Yeah.
Just a stripper?
Yeah.
I thought you loved us. Just one?
All right, I can't win at all. You guys, didn't you start by saying don't be nervous about this?
should be nervous. Just
Everything's going to be fine. Everything's going to be fine.
Yeah, it'll be great.
What about significant other swapping?
Well, yeah, we had a conversation about that a few days ago. A key party would be all right by me. Everything's going to be fine, Josh. We don't need a magician or a hypnotist or anything.
I do have one request, though, Josh.
What's that?
I don't care if it happens to me, but I want it to happen to somebody, anybody. I want to see one of your big dogs swing that tail and just catch somebody right in the balls.
They're not going to be there.
Yeah. Fine. I guess I'll just Ashley's boyfriend in the balls myself.
Yeah, go ahead.
Your wife's not going to be there either?
No,
Oh, this will be...
they're going out of town.
this will be...
I wanted to meet the dogs.
It's funny. I told my wife yesterday, I'm like, Ashley's going to be disappointed the dogs aren't here.
Yeah,
This will be interesting.
bummer.
I don't think I've ever seen you without your wife.
Yeah, outside of work.
Yeah. Well, all right. Josh, we're torturing you. We don't need any seances or lights, games, anything like that. We're just going to sit and act our age in a controlled environment with music at a reasonable level. We're going to be responsible with our food and alcohol intake. That's what we're looking for tonight, and it sounds like you have all of those things covered.
Yeah, I have asked your wife for a few pieces of advice.
Why? What are you asking her for? What does she know about parties?
Because she knows how to plan everything.
Well, she knows how to plan, corporate parties and things like that. I don't know if she's much of a... Anyway, so what were you asking her about?
I had asked her about wines.
Yeah.
I didn't know anything about that.
I'd have to ask her questions on that, too.
She knew everything.
She knows
knew
all about...
how long to cool one wine and when you open it up. And
I didn't know
she knew all that stuff.
Well, everything's going to be fine. People are texting in, you guys should have a circle jerk. What's the matter with you people?
We can do that at work.
What is wrong with you?
We don't have to have a party for that.
Yeah, we do that after the show each day.
Play spin the bottle. Hire a mariachi band.
That'd be cool.
You know what? There's so many kids in the neighborhood. I bet they'd love that, hiring a mariachi band. I even pulled weeds. You know, I really want you guys to have a good time and not be burdened by weeds.
No,
I don't want you burdened by buckthorn.
So.
You even went, how do you say it, outside to
oh, yeah.
pull weeds.
Little everything.
We show up. That was a good time, but he had some creeping Charlie in the yard, I noticed. And, kind of ruined the night.
People have texted in. They're wondering, you've cleaned the bathroom that you pooped on, right?
Yeah, and I will be doing another once-over today. Hey, somebody recommended I take those boxers from yesterday, and we can kind of play, maybe I put them in my boxer drawer, and you guys have to find it.
Yeah, can we get a full-on tour of that bathroom where the shower took place?
I even asked my wife, I'm like, should I get gift bags or, like a take-home bag or something for everybody?
Yeah.
She told me,
you're not.
For some reason, I'm being ridiculous. And she's like, you see these guys every day. Why are you so concerned?
You're not really built for this.
No, not at all. I don't know how to host.
Well.
And then I asked her, come up with some topics for small talk,
Jeez.
So I had a list. We're going to start with politics.
That'll get things going.
Yeah, I thought that'd be a good start.
Let's not have you take this on again.
No, I'm actually very much looking forward to it. But I think maybe next time your wife will plan it.
You got to pay her for that. That's what she does for a living.
That's fine. I'm going to make the money back with the cover charge for this evening.
Have you ever been to a house party where there was I'm not talking about strippers, of course. You ever been to a house party where there was like a magician going, and we can't count children's parties either. A magician going around, or hey, we hired a hypnotist. Hey, we hired I don't think that I ever have.
No,
I have been
wish.
once.
That sounds awesome. What was it, Dana?
I was at a birthday party once. This guy, actually, you would hate him. He really loves clowns.
Oh.
He's big. He was a theater major. He loves the whole artistry of clowns and stuff.
The artistry of clowns.
Yeah, just the history of it.
It's terrifying.
Right. And we thought it'd be funny. Oh, we should hire a clown for his birthday. So the guy shows up. He's like 60 years old, and it's funny for about a minute, and he's making balloon animals. And then it's like, well, the guy's here for an hour. What do we do now? It was just got so awkward and uncomfortable.
This was a group of young adults.
Of course it did.
Yeah. And we were probably 27, 28, something like that.
A clown was hired. Mm-hmm. That sounds really, really awful.
It was fun for the big reveal. Like, he was surprised, and it was fun, and he came out, he had the whistle going, and like I said, made some balloons, and then it was just kind of like, all right, well, now what?
People are recommending Wonder Joints for your party, Josh.
Okay.
A Pop-A-Shot tournament.
Here's the problem.
Is yours gone, too?
It's gone.
Mine's gone. I got rid of the Pop-A-Shot.
I thought that would have been great. So I even asked...
like you folks would have any chance at all. you would not.
That's why I got rid of it. So people are mentioning drugs. I did ask another buddy, do I, bring gummies? But I don't think anybody outside of the boss would even...
No, don't bring any friggin'...
He's like, well, you're just going to have, a crystal bowl full of gummies?
Yeah, what?
Here's a handful for you.
I don't know what I'm doing.
I hope that your house party turns out kind of like the movie house party.
Just gets kind of wild?
They had a great time.
Yeah.
Except Bilal, the DJ. Remember how everyone kept bumping into the DJ table and then the record would skip?
Yeah.
And it pissed off Bilal?
He was kind of upset.
Yeah. I hope it turns
And I
out.
apologize. People are saying what happened to their invites. It must be a mail thing. They probably
Yeah, I heard that the mail was messed
a
up.
little slow.
Jesus, imagine, you're nervous just having 3-4 of us over there. Imagine if it was 25, 30 people. You'd be a nervous wreck. You'd be a maniac.
Oh, yeah.
I just posted your address on 93x.com.
Hey, you know what? Come over. We're going to have some extra Chipotle. But if you don't have a good time, it's not my fault. But just know I'm doing my best.
You're not going to have any extra Chipotle if you really have gift bags, because I'll fill mine.
Oh, yeah. I'm ready for you guys to bring some home.
On my way home. I went to a seance once. It was just probably the stupidest night of my life.
Was this a radio-related thing?
Yeah, it was a radio-related thing.
Because I don't see you going otherwise.
No, of course not. Of course not. This was my early days of radio, and one of the guys I was working with, he loved the, what's the character that we used to have on the show, Josh, that pissed me off so bad? She was a...
Victoria Bullis?
She was a
psychic?
Psychic, yeah. This guy that I worked on the air with was big into psychics. And a psychic that he really liked also would host seances. And he thought this was interesting stuff. He was wrong. And I told him he was wrong, but he wouldn't listen. So I had to go to his favorite psychic, or with his favorite psychic, to a seance and record everything. And then bring it back to the radio station so we could play the interesting audio on the air. Well, as you guys, I'm sure, are very well aware of, because you've tuned into a few of those ghost television shows, ghost hunting television.
Yep.
Nothing interesting ever happens. And I sat there for hours with the recording device up in the air as they were trying to conjure some dead dude to come back from beyond. Not a sound. But, of course, the psychic and the seance person, they were convinced they heard things, they smelled things, they
do you
saw
think they were
things.
Convinced, or they're
No.
putting on a show?
It's all nonsense. Top to bottom, nothing but nonsense.
I'd like to think even if you don't, I'd like to think they believe it, but you're right, they're probably putting on a show. This person says, I just saw at a house party someone pretended to drop dead, and it was a murder mystery they had to solve.
Oh, I love murder mysteries.
Stop that.
I shouldn't have read that out loud.
That would have been so fun.
And there's just a guy that shows up in a suit and says, well, apparently Josh has dropped dead, and someone here's the murderer.
Oh, I would have loved that, Josh.
Dang it.
Really got into that.
Oh, God. If you surprised us with that,
I have a feeling you'd leave.
I can't.
Dude, I'd be so excited.
Josh, you've never seen me move so fast. And you have to lie on your kitchen floor with a straight face and pretend to be dead. And like you said, the host of this gimmick comes around the corner and says, well,
Some guy none of us know either.
All of a sudden, there's just like a fog that he comes out of the fog.
He's got an old-timey pipe in his mouth, too.
I mean, dude, I would move so fast. I'd make sure I kicked you while you were down and then grab that Chipotle and I'm out of there.
Give him a Hogan leg drop on the way out.
The last thing I say, my dying breath, don't look at my penis. And then everybody runs away. Eastbound at Sundown, Jesus said we could all sit. Oh, wait, I lost one. Oh, we could play Guess What Next Major Thing Goes Wrong at Josh's House. Yeah, you guys could play that. Quite
with
a few.
the structure itself. Will it be the lighting, the plumbing? Oh, yeah.
I had something yesterday.
That's not a bad game at your house. I mean, that's perfect for your house because you bought this garbage pile that you've been fixing
it's cursed. I believe it's cursed.
How many years?
Point.
10 years you've been fixing this
No,
house?
since 2019, so 6 years.
10 years.
10 years.
All right. Big party at Cubby's. Oh, I mean, I bet we'll be going till, I don't know, 9:15. Dude, don't you think?
Yeah, I was wondering, like
9 o'clock?
how
maybe.
late it would go.
We'll be going probably till 9.
Because you've got like a 45-minute drive.
It's a long drive. It's a long drive.
Dana, you're out in Egan all the time.
I'm in Egan constantly. It's not far from me at all.
What do we got going on today? Oh, it's Ultimate F-Off Day. Brad Ryder and Randy Shaver will dive into the mix at 7:30. We'll talk about this and that. But, whatever happens today.
Are you Jay Cutlering it at this point?
Of course. I mean, I have been for a couple of days already. We're loose and ready to absorb whatever comes our way because who cares? Next week is a week off. You're a terrific crowd. We'll take a little breaky break and come back with the stupid news here in a few minutes on the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Well, if it isn't our wonderful podcast listener, the ones that all of us on hams love the most. Dana here to give you a little gentle reminder to hit up our friends at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning and tune up that AC before it fully turns into crotch soup season. June through August are Standard's busy season for getting AC units up to snuff, so get ahead of the curve and have them ensure you don't have a summer where you pit out every shirt you own. Book in May during their pre-summer heat savings event and you'll beat the rush and save yourself some walking around money. Call Standard Heating today or visit standardheating.com. Enjoy the show. We sincerely appreciate you checking us out each and every day.
No Contest Wrestling. O'Shea Jackson Jr. and TJ Jefferson with the biggest names in the game.
Ricky Sykes is in the house, everybody. NXT North American Champion, baby.
How you feeling right now, man?
I feel great.
Jay Uso. What's going on, man?
A lot of heavy days, but it's okay, man. It's part of the game.
They know who they are, bro. And you know who I am. TJ, can you tell them where to find us?
I mean, why else are we here?
You can always find us No Contest Wrestling. Check us out.
The No Contest Wrestling Podcast, part of the Rich Eisen Podcast Network. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
Stupid news on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
Ultimate F-off day stupid news report. Josh, for starters, here's another one of those methamphetamine success stories for you. I got a new slogan for methamphetamines, Josh. You ready?
That? Yep.
Everyone goes home a winner.
Yeah. It's almost nauseating how many, as you say, success stories we hear about from them.
Got another one of those methamphetamine success stories right here. A 29-year-old feller out there in Vancouver, British Columbia. You know what I hear? Gorgeous.
I've heard good things, yeah.
I've always wanted to go there.
You've always wanted?
You've always wanted to go there.
Yeah.
Anything in particular, just because of its natural
pretty.
beauty?
Yeah.
A 29-year-old cat out there in Vancouver who was high on meth rocks. He upped and jumped off a bridge and landed down in a river. Just ridiculous. Of course, the damn local Coast Guard has to break up their cribbage tournament or whatever and load up a rescue boat and race out there and pull the dumb bastard out the drink. You know, they're in the middle of a fun afternoon, I'm sure, at the Coast Guard, and the alarm goes off. Oh, for Christ's sake, they got to load up a rescue boat, go out onto the river, and pull this idiot out of the drink. Duh.
I wonder what percentage of their job is saving people from themselves in a manner that they don't need to. I mean, you're out on a boat somewhere, something goes wrong, what are you going to do? But in this case, this guy did that to himself.
It's 50% saving folks from themselves and 50% cribbage.
Oh, there's nothing in between.
No, that's
but that's 100% of what they do.
Right. Yeah. They fish them out of the water. Paramedics take them to the hospital. Got to bother the paramedics, too, here for nothing.
They're trying to play cribbage as well.
Taking them off to the hospital. So that's where the cops got to talk to this genius. They thought he was trying to kill himself. But the dude, high on those meth rocks, he said, no. I wasn't trying to die. Somebody dared me.
I've known, this is high school, but I had a couple buddies who they didn't have to be on meth to not be able to turn down a dare. There was just something inside of them that would not allow them to turn down any dare.
Yeah.
And I had buddies, too, that would encourage dare. Do you dare me to do this? Do you guys dare me? I'll do it. I swear I'll do it. I'll jump off this. if you really want to, man, go ahead.
Those are usually the people that never follow through. They're kind of hoping that somebody doesn't want to dare them.
The meth head said, I wasn't trying to kill myself. Somebody dared me to jump off the bridge. Now, with the hard street drugs and everything, nobody's sure if he was really dared to jump off a bridge or if that was just the meth talking. He wasn't terribly injured at all.
That's good.
And the cops are trying to figure out what kind of charges they want to dump on this dildo.
So I was thinking about the paramedics, and Dana, you thought they were 50% cribbage.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't see that. Well, maybe, what do you think? Like hacky sack or?
Oh,
what would they?
Firemen and Coast Guard members, cribbage is their game. I know that for a fact. Paramedics, what game do they play?
Yeah.
Truth or Dare.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. Yeah. They play a lot of Truth or Dare.
Yeah, I suppose they might know what to inject you with to get the truth.
I suppose,
Little truth serum in the back of that rig.
Man. That would just be so aggravating. And I imagine it is aggravating for first responders. They got a tough enough job. Now I got to put on my life jacket. I got to load up this rescue boat. I got to gas it up. I got to...
Well, then things could go wrong.
For a floating meth head.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We came all the way out for this.
It's frustrating.
What were you saying?
And things could go wrong. You know, I mean, it's possible something bad happens to these men and women just trying to do their gig.
We got to get the bomb-sniffing dog. We got to get everything organized for a floating meth head. I mean, if it was a real serious emergency, I bet that's a very exciting job. But at the same time, I bet it can be really frustrating.
Well, that's a good point. I mean, what if there's a real serious emergency by no fault of that person?
Exactly. Somewheres else, a couple of fishermen get in a boat accident or something. They're not able to respond to that because a meth head has been dared to jump off a bridge.
Possibly by an imaginary person.
Right. I don't even. All right, check this deal out. And tell me what you think. To me, this is nothing more than nature humping hippie / thrill seeker nonsense. A few weeks ago, someone set up a cliff bed out there in China. It's a stupid bed that was slung together off the side of a cliff. It's 330 some odd feet off the ground. Would you take a nap in that pig?
No.
No, that looks terrifying.
It does look terrifying. This is up on 93x.com.
Yep.
I don't even like the idea of sleeping in a bunk bed without rails on the side.
Correct.
I can't imagine sleeping on this thing.
I toss and turn way too much.
I mean, the view is gorgeous, but
for sure.
The way this is set up, somebody's going to die. If they're not a sound sleeper, they're dead.
Do we have photos of the cliff bed on our flawless website, 93x.com?
Yeah.
Terrific. Yeah, the answer for me also is no. I prefer sleeping indoors if I can. And I enjoy, like Josh was saying, I enjoy knowing that if I roll off that bitch, I'm not going to end up killed dead.
Because you've had dreams you've been falling and being stabbed by Tom Brady. It was all kind of a combo.
No, you got it kind of confused.
Oh, do I have him confused?
Yeah, you're right about that dream, though. It was the most memorable, vivid, violent, awful, dark dream I've ever had in my life. I befriended Tom Brady, Josh, in this dream.
Oh, I thought he was killing you. You were stabbing him.
No, I'll get to it. You're close, and I don't blame you for getting lost. It's been a lot of years. I mean, I had this Tom Brady dream before he was even Tom Brady. You know what I mean? I think he was in his first year in the National Football League. So why in God's name I had a dream about no-name Tom? Anyway, he and I befriended each other on a vacation in the middle of nowhere, some island in the middle of nowhere, right? And, hey, man, you're Tom Brady from the National Football League. And he said, yeah. And we had a nice conversation. And then sometime during this mutual vacation that Tom Brady and I were having on the same island, the locals turned on us and decided that all Americans should die. So at the end of my dream, Tom Brady disappears. I don't, from the dream, I don't remember the fate of Tom Brady. I remember the two of us kind of giving each other a frightened look when we realized the locals were going to kill us, and we separated, never saw him again. I don't know what happened to Tom Brady in my dream. I ended up at the top of a building because all the locals had chased me to the tippy top of a building like I was King Kong or something. I'm just running for my life up all the stairs to the very tippy top of the tallest building on this godforsaken country. And the locals have me on the edge of the building. And in my dream, I said to myself, if I'm going out, I'm taking one of these bastards with me. So I grabbed one of the local women and I dragged her over the side of the building. We're falling to our death, but before we reached the ground, I stabbed her to death.
Jeez, dude.
What do you mean, geez, dude? They were planning on killing me.
She was there to rescue you, man.
She was not there to rescue me.
She was there to rescue you. I was in that dream. I remember that.
Yes, Ashley, it was dramatic. But don't get mad at me for killing this lady before we hit the ground.
No, I get it, but wow.
All right, back to this 330-foot cliff bed. Chaska Jesus said, I would sleep in that bed on the cliff all day long, but I saw there's no spot for my CPAP mask, so I guess I'm out.
Can I plug this in somewhere?
If it wasn't for sleep apnea, he'd definitely be up there.
I know I've asked this question before, but why is it that suddenly 90% of planet Earth citizens have sleep apnea?
Yeah, I wonder that stuff too. Are they better at diagnosing certain things? Like, has it always been that way? Like people who have certain food allergies, like gluten or something, where it seems like there's so many people that have issues with it.
90% of society has sleep apnea. I wake up 5-6 times a night and I'm not breathing. I go to the doctor and he says, no, you don't have sleep apnea. What are you talking about?
He's gaslighting you, bro.
Yeah.
Everybody else has sleep apnea. Why can't I have sleep apnea? Anyway, someone built a bed on a cliff. And like you said, it's a great view and it's beautiful and all that. But it's still a bed on a cliff. And they're asking for $14 in trade if you want to try to get some sleep in this damn thing. $14. Just hand them.
Paying, no.
You don't want to pay them.
That that looks so terrible.
It's stupid.
I mean, even if you're in the harness there, which, by the way, looks kind of ridiculous.
They do put you in a harness.
Yeah, you're in a harness. But I wouldn't trust that. I mean, it's just like any ride that goes upside down or something. I think, why do I have such a big lunch? This is ridiculous.
Right.
This thing's not going to hold me.
They say here you probably won't fall.
Oh.
Well. I love that they threw the probably.
That's how they put it here. That you probably won't fall.
That's good.
Kids can try it too. I guess you don't stay in the bed overnight. Well, you don't have to stay in the bed overnight if you just don't want to. The other rules, no sleeping in the nude, no bare feet, no masturbating.
Don't tell me what. I paid $14 for this.
I like going places where there's a no masturbating rule.
I paid for Josh has got one hand on his dong, and the other he's pointing in anger. I paid $14 for this.
Can you imagine trying that at the Crayola Universe at the Mall of America? Hey, $14.
I should be able to masturbate here.
Many years ago, I was having one of those house parties. Boy, I used to have some house parties.
Stressful, right?
Josh is stressed out because tonight he's hosting a house party. You're very nervous about it. I
want everyone to have a good time.
You're nervous that not all of us are going to have the time of our lives. Yesterday, I think you said, what if the food isn't good enough? What if no one considers me a great host? What if
the mayor's busy? I want him to welcome you guys to town. It seems like an appropriate thing to do.
Don't worry about it. Tonight's going to be a great time, Josh. I know you're nervous about your house party. I used to have some house parties, and you know how it is at the end of the night. Everyone's looking for a place to crash.
Yep.
Because back in those days, when you're young, you spend the night. And if I remember right, my pal Curtis was sleeping in the basement. There was a bed down there, and there were also a couple of couches. And I believe Curtis was the only one in the basement, so there was other available spots. Now, my bro Wang is a little uncomfortable and shy about everything. And Wang approaches me, for some reason, at 3:30 in the morning, and he says, Do you think it's okay if I go downstairs and sleep where Curtis is sleeping? And he always does that when he starts a sentence. There's always 2 stutters before he gets to it. Do you think it's okay if I go downstairs and sleep where Curtis is sleeping? Right? And I said, well, what are you asking me for? Go ask Curtis. You know. So I hear Wang go down the stairs, and I hear Wang say to Curtis, Is it okay if I sleep down here too? And Curtis says, long as you don't snore or beat off.
A man's got to have a code, and Curtis has one.
I was thinking of your friends as you're telling that story, and which friend I think would be most likely to let me sleep, even if there was still one bed, if they'd let me sleep down there. And there's a couple that come to mind. And then which one, the top 5 that I'd want to snuggle with.
These are the top 5 of my friends that you'd like to snuggle with.
And if I'll start with the ones that I think would be most likely to let me sleep in the same room as them.
Okay.
Big Al. House.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think House
But he might want to kind of...
Well, he's in the top of my list.
He might want to bully you a little bit.
That's fine.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Big Al, House.
I don't mind being bullied. Let's see. Well, Curtis
and you would be, you're almost, you're so physically similar. I think that you'd make great bed partners.
Is he a little bigger than me? We're about the same size.
I think you're a little taller. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, your brother.
Yeah, he likes you.
Yeah.
And you're totally fooled on him so far.
I know. We don't look at him with the same eyes, I guess.
He's such a great guy. I'm so tired of that. But yeah, he has you fooled.
Can I kind of deviate a little bit from the plan?
Sure.
Your sister.
Go ahead.
Can I put her in there twice? Is there a way to clone her?
You can do whatever you want. She's an old lady now. All right. Josh, it happened. And it happened in Bangkok, where there's almost always something bizarre going on.
It's a place that'll make a hard man humble.
Is that song?
Yeah.
I don't know lyrics, but I like that song.
What song are we quoting?
One Night in Bangkok. Isn't that what it's called?
Oh, for Christ's sake. I haven't thought about that damn song since... Don't tell me. One Night in Bangkok. I'm going to go with... It feels earlier, but I'm going to go with 85.
84.
God dang it. Well,
so it was earlier.
Pretty close.
You did say it feels earlier.
Well, what I meant was like early 80s. Sorry, I should have been more specific.
Well, no, you were right.
Who sang One
Murray Head.
Murray Head. One Night in Bangkok and the...
It's such a weird song.
It's a mystery. That's so stupid.
I know, it is so stupid, but I like it.
It's catchy as hell.
Man.
The early to mid 80s had some weird stuff. I mean, a couple weeks ago we were playing Devo, but One Night in Bangkok, brings me to think about, putting on the Ritz. If you're blue and you don't know what you go to, why don't you know your fashion? And of course, young Frankenstein did it best, but putting on the Ritz, was it Taco?
Yes.
Putting on the Ritz. It's just so weird. A lot of synthesizers in that one.
Yeah.
And then you had, and please, this is like a Hawk to a girl type, please, Josh. I'm pleading to you the same way I plead to you to not play the Hawk to a girl. I don't want you to play Rock Me Amadeus, even though I'm going to mention Rock Me Amadeus in this same sentence.
Well, sometimes you tell me not to, but I know you secretly
No, I do not want to hear Rock Me Amadeus.
Do you not like that song?
Hate that song.
Just because it was played so much, or?
Because it's a stupid song.
Oh, man.
All right, this happened in Bangkok.
Back to Bangkok.
That always reminds me of that song, One Night in Bangkok.
A man went ahead, Josh, and released the snakes. He did. And he did it out of anger and frustration, which is obviously the most frightening style of snake release. And here's the gist. At an apartment building there in Bangkok, a dude had been complaining for years to management about how his neighbor there in the apartment has a dog or two that never stops barking. And the joint, the apartment complex, supposedly has a no pets policy. So this one tenant has been bitching for years. My neighbor's dogs never shut up. There's supposed to be a no pets policy in this pig, he says. And the dude finally snapped, and he said, okay, you want pets up in this place? I'll give you pets. And he cut loose 2 40-foot-long, scary-looking snakes and sent them slithering loose around the apartment complex. There you go, he said. I release the snakes upon you.
That escalated very quickly.
You made me do this.
Yes, there are pictures going around of these big bastard snakes going this way and that way in the hallways of the building. The pissed off dude hollered, today I brought 2. Tomorrow I'll bring more.
Oh my gosh.
And then he slammed his apartment door closed. He also sent a message out to what they call here a chat group made up of folks who live in that apartment complex. Maybe you follow that type of...
Are you anything like that, Ashley? Like a neighborhood group or something?
I'm in a neighborhood group,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, I guess so, yeah.
My wife tells me stuff about our neighborhood from that.
It's kind of fun.
There's always a lot of drama.
She's like, oh, they're opening up a Ace Hardware or something. Like she'll know all this kind of stuff from those neighborhood groups.
Are those the types of things that you learn as well, Dana, on your neighborhood, in your neighborhood group?
That and people reporting porch pirates or people bitching about why are you parking in front of my house. It gets petty. It really does.
Where do you live?
There's a lot of complaining.
South Minneapolis by Lake Nokomis.
That was your first mistake.
Huh? You're saying there's online? Like
Yeah.
there's complaining.
Oh, yeah. Just a little bit.
People, stuff they don't know about either.
This guy that released the snakes now, he also sent a message to the neighborhood chat group where he invited, Ashley, everyone to bring their cats and dogs out to play, he said. My pets, his snakes, of course, my pets want to show their love by hugging your dog so tightly they won't ever be able to bark again.
What is wrong with this guy?
He's burned out on this crap. It's been years of the dogs barking.
He is kind of funny in a dark way.
Bring your
Also
dogs
terrifying.
out. My pets want to give your dogs a hug, he said.
Yeah, uh-huh.
Sleep.
It sounds like the owners of this building have zero balls. For years, this guy complained, and they never helped him. And now, a dude just cut loose 2 poisonous 40-foot snakes right onto the apartment complex. In response to this, management sent him a written warning.
What?
That'll show
Hey, we're
them.
putting 1 check mark next to your name there, pal.
If I owned that apartment and some dude cut loose 75-foot-long killer snakes in the apartment, I would go kick down his door and attack him. These folks sent him a written warning.
Hey, please don't do that, sir.
Josh, you pun slut.
Let's get you a shirt that says pun slut.
I do love that.
Because that's what you are. Did you see these other punny snake-related headlines?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's a few websites that are like New York Post. Sometimes they're great. Other times, not so great.
I'm going to do this.
I love it when you do, because I know how much you like it.
I'm going to do it as always. I'm going to do it just for you because I hate puns. These are 2 other snake-related headlines that were included That dogs and snakes story, that one's over. These are two other headlines that were included in the article. Seriously? Thai man finds snake frozen in ice cream bar. You want another?
Yeah.
Sneak attack. Malaysian boy gets bitten by python hiding in toilet bowl.
Yeah, they're kind of one-trick pony on that one. Stupid.
All right, before we get going again. Oh, my God.
Wait.
Parrot chlamydia.
Oh, no.
I knew it.
You did, didn't you?
I predicted this was going to happen.
A young man out there in China caught a case of parrot chlamydia. And some of you might be saying, I heard that made its way around UMD a few years ago. No, that was just a rumor. According to this year's story, parrot chlamydia or parrot fever is not the same as the sexually transmitted chlamydia, although they are related to each other. Nonetheless, the way this poor bastard caught parrot chlamydia is still pretty hilarious. Not as funny as catching parrot chlamydia by having sex with a parrot. But I don't know, maybe this is funnier. You tell me. Dude caught parrot chlamydia by accidentally inhaling chicken
If I had to get parrot chlamydia, this is the way I'd want to get it.
chicken poo.
Oh, for sure.
He accidentally inhaled. This is how you'd like to get.
Oh, yeah, versus being the guy that humped a parrot.
But what if you were the guy that
Because the parrot would tell everybody. Parrots can't keep secrets.
Yeah,
you guys
that's
know
true.
He would, wouldn't he?
this. He'd be telling everybody.
Rat! I did, Cubby. Rat! I did him good.
That's exactly right.
But what if you were the guy that banged a gal who banged a parrot with parrot chlamydia?
Oh, I didn't even know that was an option.
Yes.
You can get second-hand parrot chlamydia.
You can get secondhand parrot chlamydia.
Of course you can get second-hand chlamydia. Yeah, that's the one I want.
You want to bang the gal who banged a parrot who had parrot chlamydia.
The parrot can be there, and I want him to tell everybody that I banged the gal that banged the parrot that had the chlamydia. Yes, I'm fine with that.
You made a good point, though, about being sexually involved with a parrot. They are going to tell everybody. Rat! Mid-sized pecker.
Hey, I'd be okay with that.
This dude caught it by inhaling chicken turds. He showed up at a hospital, terrible cough, hell of a fever. Doctors maybe, what did they say here? Doctors thought he maybe had a dose of that COVID, or maybe he had pneumonia. They gave him some dope. It didn't work. He felt worse. Doctors took a closer look, saw that he had picked up parrot chlamydia. They asked the guy, they said, what the hell have you been up to? And the dude, in between coughing fits, he told his doctors he kept 10 or so pigeons and a few chickens as pets. And he had recently accidentally inhaled some chicken. He didn't explain how in God's name that happened.
Yeah, that's what I want to know.
I've never been in a situation where I could accidentally do that.
Doctors gave him a sleeve of Mentos, and they gave him the proper medication, and within a couple weeks, he was feeling all right again.
Can you imagine getting that diagnosis? Yeah, wait a minute. You got to say that again. Parrot chlamydia.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what in the world?
I don't know. I want to know how he inhaled isn't a word. I want to know how he inhaled chicken poo. He's caring for the animals. He's cleaning out their cage, something like that. I mean, everyone here's inhaled a bug, have they not?
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
Very easy to do. I don't know, but he got some
I'm sure
down into
breathing
it.
something like that in wouldn't be that difficult. March Madness Jesus said, I know you love these, and he's right, I do. He's letting us know he just turned on the radio, and the first thing he heard was how to pick up secondhand parrot chlamydia.
It's a common question.
I'm so happy. I'm happy that that's how you started your day.
Sports on the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
I'm surprised this doesn't happen more often as it gets whacked in the face inadvertently. It's actually a really good toss. How many times you see players steal the tip over and over again?
Cut me, Nick.
I can't see nothing. Got to open my eye. Cut me, Nick.
Well, that was the highlight of the game for me. That ref gets cracked in the schnoz and starts leaking blood. I loved it.
That was a lot of blood.
Yeah, he's a lot of bad referee.
You don't like NBA referees professionally or personally?
They're the worst people on earth.
Bad at their jobs, bad at being a person.
Yes. I like that when that dude got cracked in the schnoz. Suck it up. We'll talk about the basketball here a little bit later when Randy Shaver and Brad Ryder get into the mix. That was fun. The nose bleeding. That was fun.
Yeah, the rest of it.
He looked pretty surprised and
good,
certainly in pain.
Good. We spent a little time a few minutes ago playing some weird 80s songs. We played Putting on the Ritz, unfortunately, One Night in Bangkok. What else were we talking about? Major Tom. And that's all fun. It's all fun. I love that stuff. I love talking about some of those weird old songs. There was a listener who texted in, Josh, and was wondering, what the hell is the name of that song? He said it kind of goes, ba-dum, boom, boom, yeah, yeah. Do you know the name of that song?
No.
It goes, ba-dum, boom, boom, yay.
You tried to figure it out. Remember you called that record store guy
I did.
many, many years ago.
Ba-dum, boom, boom, yay. do you don't remember the name of that song?
I don't. He never told us.
Listen to me. I'll tell you
how does it go?
Ba-dum, boom, boom, yay. You don't recognize it?
I don't recognize it.
Well, you say it.
But don't bump,
no,
yay.
No. Ba-dum, boom, boom, yay.
But
you go.
Boom,
no,
yay.
No, listen, lady.
All right.
Listen.
Lady?
What is that?
If you don't know the bit, you hate our guts right now.
You're so confused.
If you know the bit, hopefully you appreciate it.
Oh, I do.
So when Randy Shaver and Brad Ryder get here, we'll talk about the basketball, the hockey, the other basketball, the other hockey, baseball. Speaking of baseball, Ashley.
Yeah?
Did you put that sad rain delay dog up on our website?
Yeah, I did.
Oh,
it's so
the sad rain delay dog.
I've never seen a dog more sad. Yeah.
I'll tell you what.
I just try to think about how, like, sometimes my dogs, like, they could have had the best day ever, and I'll look over at them, and they look so depressed for no reason. I'm like, all right, so maybe that's what it is.
If you want to see a sad dog, go to our website. At the Twins game the other night when it was just pouring rain, I guess it was bring your dog to the ballpark. Yeah, I wasn't aware of that.
I didn't know that either.
Some fans brought in their big old Shaggy. I don't know what the hell he is, but he's got a jersey on and his Twins hat, and he's just sitting
cute.
in the
He
stands.
looks adorable.
He looks cute with his Twins outfit on. It's pouring rain, and the dog is just looking down at his feet.
He wanted to watch some baseball.
They pulled the tarps out. It's the saddest dog you've ever seen in your life.
Poor boy.
But I enjoy it if you like sad animals, and I do.
He was all excited to leave the house.
He's like, where's, I don't see Buxton, I don't see
Where's the
Correa.
sun?
Where's the sun? Sad rain delay dog, 93x.com. Don't go anywhere. Josh's news. You still can't come up with the name of the song?
No, it's killing me.
Maybe by the time we come back for Josh's news next on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Well, if it isn't our wonderful podcast listeners, the ones that all of us on Hams love the most. Dana here to give you a little gentle reminder to hit up our friends at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning and tune up that AC before it fully turns into crotch soup season. June through August are Standard's busy season for getting AC units up to snuff, so get ahead of the curve and have them ensure you don't have a summer where you pit out every shirt you own. Book in May during their pre-summer heat savings event, and you'll beat the rush and save yourself some walking around money. Call Standard Heating today or visit standardheating.com. Enjoy the show. We sincerely appreciate you checking us out each and every day.
Former MLB All-Star Sean Casey, a.k.a. The Mayor, keeps hitting it out of the park.
Take my 30 years of experience. Take the wisdom and knowledge I've learned from the failures when I got sent down my rookie year, all the injuries I had to overcome. Your mind is the most important tool you have in life. Be relentless. Keep charging. It matters how you talk to yourself, how you look at the world. That matters. We talk about that. I don't know. I'm fired up. Baseball's back, and it's going to be incredible. I love it.
The Mayor's Office with Sean Casey from Believe.
Follow and listen on your favorite platform. They're gross, they're offensive, and kids on the road see them.
Half-assed morning show.
It would be a horrible, painful death to die by thallium poisoning.
A 44-year-old Indiana man is facing a conspiracy to commit murder after trying to coax coworkers into a chilling crime, killing his wife. The investigation began when a coworker came forward anonymously, claiming the man asked where he could buy a gun silencer. That tip led to more troubling testimony. Another employee, Ken Cox, revealed the man had approached him and asked if he'd be willing to murder his wife.
Yeah.
And how much money it would take to make that happen.
I've never had that conversation within the walls of this building.
Not yet.
As part of the alleged murder, there were days where I would have a pretty good guess on who we could go to carry that out. We don't really work with anyone like that anymore.
Oh, no.
Cox was supposed to help fabricate an alibi by keeping the husband's phone, creating the illusion he was somewhere else while carrying out the crime.
Yeah, that whole phone tracking thing.
But when the time came, Cox didn't come. Police say before turning to his coworkers for advice on how to kill his wife, he may have attempted to commit the act himself. When investigators spoke with the wife, she mentioned a suspicious smoothie she drank months earlier that made her sick.
Tasted kind of funny.
That's what she said. Very salty, she said. Yeah. And it just didn't smell right, but she drank it.
I thought you said that Cox didn't come.
No, Cox didn't come. But the husband did arrive.
He went ahead with it.
Yeah, it sounds like he tried to make a move on her, not sexually, but murderally.
Mm-hmm.
But he said it was just dishwasher detergent. It must have remained in the cup, and that's where the Tide Pod turned.
Oh.
During an interview, a coworker told police the man spoke frequently about poisons and plotted potential ways to carry out the crime. Admittedly, he said he ordered poison from India.
Poison.
Like, that's where you get the good stuff?
Poison.
Authorities believe the murder plot had been in the works for months, possibly even a year. The husband was arrested last Friday and is facing charges of conspiracy to commit murder.
Would you kill my wife if I asked you to, Josh?
No. I'd do almost anything for you, but I couldn't kill your wife.
I miss the old Josh. The old Josh. The Josh that would do anything for me.
I can't. I mean, that's probably the only thing I couldn't do.
I'd kill your wife.
Well, Josh, would you at least help hide the body?
Well, that's different.
Would you help me hide the body?
Yes. And would I provide an alibi?
After you killed my wife.
I will not kill your wife. I couldn't do that.
I'd kill your wife.
If I know, you're a better friend. That's all that means.
It's a proof of real friendship.
But if I didn't know anything ahead of time, you killed your wife, I wouldn't say a word to anyone. I would help you bury the body. I mean, there'd be a lot of tears. I'd be crying.
That's sweet of you.
I could help you do that.
I bet you'd crack. You'd crack under pressure, you son of a bitch, after all we've been through.
Cop pulls me over for window tint. He did it! I was coerced. I didn't want to do it. A man on parole is back behind bars after a viral internet challenge got the better of him. The 36-year-old convicted felon, he violated his parole after participating in the infamous one-chip challenge, which of course involves eating a tortilla chip so spicy it ranks near the top of the Scoville scale. Apparently overwhelmed by the heat, he reached for a bottle of Corona to cool off. An innocent enough move for most people, but a serious misstep for someone barred from using alcohol or even being in places where it's sold. His parole officer, who said the parolee is a risk to himself and others when he drinks, found out about the incident after seeing a video showing him with the beer in hand during the challenge. When confronted during a meeting last Wednesday, he admitted to taking a swig of someone else's beer because the chip was too hot. That wasn't his only slip-up. He's got a long rap sheet with convictions for stalking, grand theft, burglary, credit card fraud, and selling drugs. And earlier this month, he was also cited for not wearing a required tracking device.
Oh, for God's sake, this guy's a mess.
Yeah, that's what got him, the one-chip challenge. South Carolina man's facing charges after pretending to be a police officer at a crime scene and then getting into a fight with the real ones.
Yeah.
Authorities say 35-year-old Julio Santos Hernandez showed up at the scene claiming he was an off-duty officer from the Hanahan Police Department.
How can I help, boys?
Hey, the hero arrived.
Yeah.
Hello, fellow cops.
He even helped arrest someone.
He did.
He told officers he had both his badge and gun on him, but when they asked to show ID, he said, oh, you know what, I left it all at home.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
He promised to go get them, but like the dad from every went to get milk joke, he never came back. At one point, a sergeant asked him to leave. Instead, he just walked over to another officer and kept insisting he was legit. On the phone with investigators, he even referred to himself as a deputy. He does have a background in law enforcement, having worked for several agencies across South Carolina. But officials say much of what he said at the scene didn't line up with his previous statements. In a social media post, he denied any wrongdoing. As a former law enforcement officer with nearly 11 years of dedicated service, I'm resolute in my intention to clear my name and protect the integrity of my reputation, meticulously built over a decade of public service.
Stop talking, dude.
Records show he was fired from the Rock Hill Police Department in 2016 for a policy violation, and he resigned from his most recent job with the Charleston County Aviation Authority last October. So in his statement, he contradicts himself, agreeing he's a former officer. When he was there, he said he was a current deputy.
Right.
And just kind of forgot his ID and gun and stuff like that at home.
Just go play cops and robbers in the neighborhood with the other 7-year-olds and leave us alone.
A 39-year-old police officer from Southern California claims she couldn't work after a head injury, but her social life told a very different story. Investigators say while she was collecting more than $600,000 in workers' compensation, she was anything but sidelined. Nicole Brown, an officer with the Westminster Police Department, got a minor abrasion on her forehead during a struggle with a suspect. She told her supervisor she had a headache and was feeling dizzy. Although an ER doctor checked her out the same day and cleared her to return for work with no restrictions, she called out sick for several days. From there, she claimed she was suffering from ongoing symptoms like headaches, dizziness, light and noise sensitivity, trouble thinking clearly, and difficulty using a computer. Based on those complaints, she was placed on total temporary disability and began collecting benefits, but her actions didn't match her diagnosis.
She's out at dance clubs and whatnot and
That's
things like that.
That's exactly right.
Is that right?
During leave, she was spotted dancing and drinking at the Stagecoach Music Festival, an annual country music event.
Classic.
Hardly consistent with someone too impaired to work, they said.
I'm not going to miss the annual country music event.
No, gotta see it.
And that sighting kicked off a deeper investigation by the district attorney's office because they thought, if she's doing that, what else is she doing? What they uncovered confirmed their suspicions she faked her injury. During the same 3-day stretch she initially called out sick, she reportedly attended several soccer conferences in San Diego. And over the following year, while still on disability, she participated in 2 5K races, went skiing and snowboarding several times, hit up baseball games, played golf, visited Disneyland, and even took online university courses, despite claiming she couldn't even look at a screen.
She was engaged in an incredibly active lifestyle where she was running, skiing, going to Disneyland, doing all these things that she said she could not do while she was working as a police officer.
Well, yeah, because she'd be too busy working.
Did she even try?
She friggin' blew it, is what she did.
In total, prosecutors say Brown collected over $600,000 from taxpayers in the city of Westminster, covering her full salary and medical costs, while claiming she was too injured to work.
Had a nice little scam going, Cubby, and she blew it.
She sure did. She's now facing 15 felony charges and could spend up to 22 years behind bars.
Wow, whoa. I had no idea you could be looking at that amount of time. But that's a lot of monies.
Yeah, well, you stole it from taxpayers, you know, so they're going to probably throw a little extra at you.
I'll be dipped.
A registered sex offender is once again living up to the name he gave himself, and it's a doozy. 46-year-old Keenan Pearson, who calls himself Master Baiter, has been arrested again for masturbating.
He actually gave himself that nickname as if he's proud of what he does?
He's very proud of himself, yeah.
Oh, that is...
He thinks he's very clever.
Is that right?
This time, he unsheathed his salami inside a Seattle grocery store. According to prosecutors, he's earned a reputation as a prolific public masturbator, and he proved that again earlier this month. Witnesses reported seeing him openly pleasuring himself in full view of shoppers, including children. When officers arrived and asked his name, he introduced himself as Master Baiter. He then admitted he'd been, quote, stroking inside the store. Even while speaking with police, he reportedly stared seductively at women nearby and made crude comments. And he said they should be in his, quote, show, and they could, quote, stroke it. As it turns out, He's a sex offender with a criminal history longer than his pecker. He'd just been sentenced in March for another indecent exposure charge, also inside a grocery store, where he admitted he couldn't help it because he had to masturbate while watching women in yoga pants. Masturbator has prior convictions for assault, voyeurism, burglary, domestic violence, possession of a deadly weapon, and multiple counts of indecent exposure.
He's certainly unique. I've never heard of a sick pervert who leans into the gimmick, gives himself a nickname, and goes with it, runs with it like that. Certainly unique.
Yeah, I mean, especially something like if someone's an assassin and they have a cool nickname, that's a little different.
Yeah.
But you're right, this guy's
Oh, no, you guys know me.
jerking off in grocery stores.
Everybody in town knows me.
I'm surprised that the late 90s Attitude Era didn't have a wrestler whose gimmick was masturbator.
Well,
They did get kind of sexual. Maybe that's a little too far.
well, they did have... Who was the guy? Beaver. There was a 90s wrestler, Beaver. Somebody text me, 651-989-9393. And I believe his gimmick was that he maybe was having sex with his mother. What was... Come on now. I'm going to go to my text machine. 651-989-9393. WWE old school fans. Who was the Beaver guy?
Can you imagine, though, being this masturbator guy and somebody walks up to you and, hey, aren't you the guy that, weren't you jerking off at Whole Foods? Yeah, that was me.
Yeah, you guys know me.
I'm masturbating.
Right.
Yeah, my reputation's picking up around town. This is great.
Here it is. Beaver cleavage.
Oh, yeah.
That sounds like a porn movie.
Right.
That's funny.
And then don't forget about Big Dick Johnson. His gimmick was that he was a overweight male stripper. He would come into the ring only wearing the tiniest of thong underwears.
Oh, cute.
So, Dana, they've gotten pretty close to what you were describing. Some people, they're talking about Val Venus. Okay, yeah, his gimmick was he was a retired porn star.
That's funny.
They've gone in so many different directions.
Yeah, they cut off his wiener, Val Venus.
Yeah, it was, they needed a hedge trimmer.
Oh, did they?
Is that what you call this?
Yeah,
you call
hedge trimmer?
Yeah, because Val was packing so much heat.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Lucky. A 25-year-old University of Buffalo graduate was chased across the stage by police at Sunday's commencement ceremony for carrying a prohibited item while trying to collect his diploma, a baby. Video from the College of Arts and Sciences graduation shows the man sprinting from backstage, skipping the line of graduates and inserting himself into the ceremony while cradling an infant dressed in a miniature cap and gown. Trailing him, that is, were at least 2 police officers and a couple of faculty members, all trying to stop him. But the student made it to center stage, shook hands with smiling officials, baby proudly in tow, as the audience erupted in applause.
Whose baby was it?
It was his.
Oh.
In a statement, the school explained his actions violated commencement rules, which state only graduating students are allowed to participate in the ceremony. The university went on to explain the student had been told multiple times not to bring the baby on stage and had ignored repeated instructions from both event staff and campus police.
So they said it was a safety hazard. They don't want the baby on stage, and I ran. That's what I did. I had to. I promised him I'm going to walk with him on the stage or run with him on the stage.
Still, the university confirmed the graduate later emailed an apology, won't face any penalties, and will receive his diploma as planned. As for the baby, the university joked on Facebook, the infant, despite crossing the stage in a cap and gown, hasn't yet earned enough credits to receive a diploma. But we hope to see him back on stage in about 20 years so he can follow in Dad's footsteps.
Oh, shut up.
It ended
cute.
well. A teacher's been arrested after he dropped cocaine in the hallway of a Louisiana school. The St. James Parish Sheriff's Office said deputies were called to the scene about 10:38 a.m. Tuesday. A staff member had found a small plastic bag containing a white powder, which later tested positive for coke. Surveillance footage pointed to a 63-year-old teacher as the one who dropped the bag. Deputies searched his car, and they found another baggie with a similar white powder, which also tested positive for cocaine. He was arrested and charged with being the coolest teacher in school.
It's so cool.
Back when I was in high school, I was in detention, and I loved it there. Detention at my high school was the most fun you could have all day. So we would go to detention, me and a couple of my pals, even when we didn't have it, because it was just a riot. And I was sitting next to this gal who I know very well, who I knew very well. And while we're seated in detention, here comes the principal, who was a total prick, of course. And he says, Missy, let me speak to you right now. And like any teenage kid, she was very defiant at first. Why? And he says, because I need to talk to you about this, this, and this. You're in further trouble for this, this, and this. And here you are in detention, and now I find out about this, this, and this. Come with me. And she says, I don't want to come with you. And he says, right now, little lady. And she defiantly gets up out of her chair and grabs her jacket, like frustrated, grabs her jacket because she's convinced I haven't done anything wrong.
Yeah.
Right? When she grabs her jacket, out flies a little one-hitter.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I'd hate myself.
And it sails through the air. It was almost like, what do they call that? Suspended animation as it
slow motion?
Yeah. Yes.
Like from The Matrix?
Everyone sees it. It's glowing. It hits the ground. Bang, 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 bang. It makes a loud noise. Now what do you got to say?
And I imagine he noticed?
Oh, hell, everybody. No, yeah. Big old one-hitter sails through the sky and lands on the floor. I felt bad for her in that moment.
On the big screen this holiday weekend, Mission Impossible. Oh, do you mind if we go late, anybody? By the way,
that's just fine.
Dude, take this till 9.
Yeah. Keep going, Josh.
Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning. Ethan Hunt and the IMF team race against time to find the entity, a rogue artificial intelligence which can destroy mankind. Also in theaters, a lonely Hawaiian girl befriends a runaway alien, helping to mend her fragmented family in Lilo and Stitch. Now streaming on Apple TV Plus, Fountain of Youth, where two estranged siblings use their knowledge of history to hunt for the mythic Fountain of Youth. Jim from The Office in that one. Then premiering on HBO and Max, the definitive story of the artist and performer Paul Rubens and his alter ego Pee Wee Herman.
What?
In a new documentary series called Pee Wee as Himself.
What channel can I see this on?
HBO and then Max.
So HBO?
For you, yes, HBO.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, that sounds fascinating.
I want to watch that as well.
I will likely cry
Ditto.
my little eyes out.
The third annual Lids for Kids Helmet Fest is back. May 31st, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Hilmerson Sports Center in Little Falls. Lids for Kids Helmet Fest is an annual family-friendly event all about keeping young riders safe and geared up. $100 helmet gift cards for kids ages up to 16, free food, electric bike demos, a wide variety of kids' activities, and a chance to win an ATV. That's pretty sweet. And the first 300 kids to redeem their helmet gift cards also get a free pair of goggles. The third annual Lids for Kids Helmet Fest, a week from tomorrow, May 31st, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Hilmerson Sports Center in Little Falls. Shout out to Navy vet Lawn Care Jesus, headed to Minnesota from Florida right now. Congratulations to Army Mailman Jesus, celebrating a huge milestone. Today marks 20 years of service in the Army. We appreciate your service, as well as your texts over the years. Godspeed to the crew aboard the SSS show, en route to Kansas City to move built like a house, hung like a mouse, Jesus' brother, back home after serving 12 years in the Army. Congratulations to Fuzznuts Jesus and his wife, Michaela. They welcomed a new member of the sisterhood yesterday morning from Hillman Welder Jesus. Happy belated birthday to the smoking hot Jennifer. Happy birthday to the stunningly handsome, big-bearded Jared. Lives in Brainerd Jesus. Text in to wish himself a happy birthday on May 26th. Add us to that. We wish you one as well. Happy 29th this coming Sunday to Jeremy from Ashley's future mother-in-law, Jesus. Ashley?
What about?
Yeah, that's cute.
Jeremy?
It's funny because I was just thinking in my head, I was like, oh, I should probably give him a shout out since his birthday is on the 25th.
Now you don't need to.
Yeah,
Your
awesome,
future
cool.
mother-in-law,
Yay.
Jesus.
Happy birthday.
She took that burden away from you.
Sweet.
And that's 93X News.
Randy Shaver.
Ah! What the hell? I just saw your balls. They're hanging out. Oh, my God. Balls are disgusting. They're hideous.
On the Half-Assed Morning Show.
This OKC team looks different. They look very different.
Another second half explosion, and the Thunder are 2 wins away from the NBA Finals.
We're going to go back home. This is a good team at home. So we're going to go home and fight for Game 3.
Hey, Randy. Hey, Brad.
Good morning.
Good morning, Nick. How are you?
I'm not much of a pregame show guy when it comes to any sport or postgame show.
Yeah.
I don't understand the attraction, but did anyone watch the pregame show on ESPN last night before the Timberwolves and the Oklahoma? You did, Randy?
I watched some of it, yes.
And they got Kendrick Perkins is up there and Stephen A. Smith and a couple other people. Maybe I'm not Mike Malone. And you know who else they had sitting in last night, Josh, as part of the ESPN NBA playoff pregame show?
Who that?
Cone.
Oh, yeah. Chris Paul was there?
Yeah.
He's a cone.
Friggin' Cone sitting there. And this was beautiful. You know, my wife and I watch Timberwolves together every game. Timberwolves. And so there's the Cone sitting there. And the Cone says to the rest of the, what do they call it in the business, Randy? The rest of the panel. Panel. Yeah. He says, you know, this is real nice. I don't often get a chance to sit here and chat with all of you. And my wife says, you do during the playoffs. Because he's a friggin' cone.
He's a cone.
Well, we asked the Timberwolves to be better than game one, and I suppose they were slightly better. But it still wasn't nearly good enough.
Nope.
And now they're down 2 games to the Oklahoma City Thunders in this here version of the Western Conference Final Series. If you take a closer look, and these are some of the things that we asked of them, Anthony Edwards was better.
Yes.
They cut down on turnovers. The bench players contributed slightly more. They shot the basketballs slightly better, but it wasn't nearly enough.
Well, I think to me, the underlying story is Julius Randle.
Oh.
What happened to Julius Randle? Why was he benched? Was he benched? Was that clearly a message sent by Chris Finch that you did not play well enough to get in the fourth quarter of Game 2 of the Western Conference Final?
That was an oddity.
What happened last night? I've been trying to find the quotes from both guys. Jim Suhan wrote about it this morning in the Star Trib. I have not found a quote as to what happened. Maybe you guys have seen something.
Nothing.
I haven't.
Nothing.
I haven't. But to me, that's the big underlying story, because Julius Randle has been so good for this team in the playoffs.
He's been the best player on the basketball team.
And granted, did not have a good night last night.
No.
Did not shoot the ball well. Was not in the flow of the game. But he's still been one of your best players. Why did he not play in the fourth quarter last night?
Maybe he came off at the mouth cute. Let's just sit here and take guesses.
Even that would be an answer.
Yeah.
I doubt that would be enough for a guy to sit during the fourth quarter of Game 2 of the Western Conference Final.
That might be enough in a Wednesday night game in February against somebody, but not now.
Well, maybe he said something really nasty.
I don't think that's his character, though. I just don't.
No. Maybe he said something about munging.
Oh, that would do it.
You know, and
somebody looked it up.
And Chris Finch said, "That's disgusting. I'm not putting you out here, talk like that."
Anybody watch the locker room video or the interviews afterwards?
No, I don't watch anything afterwards.
And how miserable he looked.
Who?
Randall.
Oh, he looked like he'd been stabbed in the heart.
He did.
Chris Finch?
Yeah.
No, Randall.
No.
Randall did.
Julius Randle.
And it reminded me of the face you made when you found out that Hannah Montana was nude on a big wrecking ball in the video for Wrecking Ball. Miley Cyrus.
Yeah, that was devastating.
Well, same devastated look you had in your face.
I don't know if it's as simple as this, but they were down 20 going into the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
I mean, they weren't going to come back. I mean, I get you probably should have had him on the floor, but they never got it under 10, Randy. I mean, it was a 10 to 20 point game the whole fourth quarter. It might have been just as simple as you're not very good tonight, so we're going to try somebody different.
Could be.
I don't know.
Could be.
Not the munging thing?
So, Josh, when you not munging.
No, not that.
When you saw Julius Randle he was sitting in front of the media last night?
They do.
No one asked him about it?
Well, let me show. I didn't watched the whole. It was like 11 minutes.
Like
long.
I said, I'm not a post-game guy. I don't really get involved in the
pre-game guy,
post-game, pre-game.
Right.
So someone must have asked him about it last night.
I'd imagine at some point they did. But
I'm sure somebody did. I have not seen a quote.
But we don't see any quotes. Dana, can you look for some quotes?
Yeah, I'm looking right now.
To me, though, that's the big underlying.
Well, yeah.
story.
What the hell was going on there?
I thought the Wolves played better.
Yeah,
I thought
slightly.
Anthony Edwards was better last night. I thought his intentions were the right intentions to get to the foul line, to get to the basket. He was 1 for 9 from the 3-point line. It wasn't working there. He needed to do that. But for whatever, I will say, OKC last night took it to a different level, played at a different level. They're really super good, as we all know. That's a really good basketball team. There are, I just don't see a weakness when they're at home in how you can beat that squad.
I feel like Edwards reversed what he should do and what he should do for Game 3. Meaning, he's still coming out and trying to establish his 3-point shot right out of the gate. He should be coming out and doing what he was doing late in the third and in the fourth quarter, in the first quarter, taking the ball to. He did that a lot in the fourth quarter and late in the third quarter. He took the ball to the basket, got to the free throw line, because he wasn't hitting his threes. He should be doing this in reverse. He should be taking the ball to the basket early in the game, getting some easy shots, getting some free throws, and then maybe trying to establish it. Because
I don't even remember him taking a 3-point shot last night. I thought the majority of the game,
almost all in the first half. He wasn't making any of them. And then
I don't recall. Are you sure you're not referring to Game 1? I don't recall him taking.
No, he was 1 for 9 last night.
He was 1 for 9, and he must have taken at least 7 of them in the first half.
All right.
And so he's got to establish taking the ball to the basket earlier in the game than he did last.
I'm cool with that. The only two highlights.
Yeah, he started doing it when they were down 15-20. Okay, well, that's great, but you've got to establish that earlier in the game.
The only two highlights from last night's game for me was, number one, when the ref got his nose cracked open on a jump ball. I enjoyed that.
Yep.
And highlight number 2 was when Jaden McDaniels shoved Shai Gilgeous-Alexander down onto his face because he was tired of the prick. I enjoyed the hell out of that, too.
You could tell he was sick of him.
That was fun.
You mentioned Game 1. Should we play the Korean call?
Oh, my God. Well,
it wasn't the Timberwolves game.
Yes. This is so much fun.
The Knicks-Pacers game?
My wife found this on social media. Game 1 of the Knicks-Pacers series, the game-winning shot by Tyrese Halliburton that bounces off the back rim, goes straight up in the air, hovers in the air for
Send it to overtime. It wasn't the game-winning shot.
I'm sorry, game-tying shot. The ball hovers in the air and then falls through the net. The Korean announce team adds a lot to it.
I was texting with your wife yesterday, Nick. I was telling her I'd watch these guys cover any sporting event. And I just wish I was happy about anything like that once in my life. I'm going to feel that.
Both of them, if we can hear it one more time, both of them simultaneously. Wah!
It was the enthusiasm you had when you found out we were going to go between 93.7 The Edge alternative to 93X with All Rock.
Oh, my God. You're hitting on some marquee moments in my life. What was her name again? What's the gal you mentioned earlier on the Wrecking Ball?
Oh, Miley Cyrus.
Yeah, Miley Cyrus. I had such a terrible crush on her. And then I was going on and on about her one day, and Josh said, do you know that she's got a music video where she's ass naked swinging back and forth on a wrecking ball? And I said, no, I didn't know that.
I was shocked because you were her biggest fan. I'm sure you knew.
Didn't know any of her songs. Anyway.
Somebody looked up munging. We forgot to give the warning not to look up what munging is.
No.
It's horrible.
Well, a few of us feel like maybe that's the reason why Julius Randle was benched last night in the fourth quarter. He made some reference to munging.
It's awful.
And Chris Finch said, you will not be representing this ball club in the fourth quarter.
And I'll just tell anybody new to this term, we say every time, don't look it up. And people always text and say, I wish I would have listened to you and not looked it up. Absolutely horrible.
A listener texted me. Yes, Brad Ryder.
I was just saying another thing I think we've learned through 2 games is that Dante DiVincenzo cannot guard Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. And every time they would switch on a screen and that matchup occurred, it was done. I mean, he was taking the ball to the basket or shooting a mid-range shot and scoring. They've got to figure out a way to not have that matchup when they switch off of a screen.
You know who else has not been good? And I'm sorry, but I brought him to town. I'm probably the guy who can feel free to be the most critical of him. Naz Reid has not been good.
No.
Not been good. A listener, yes, Randy Shaver?
I'll say that Oklahoma City, Jalen Williams, to me, has been the wild card in the first 2 games of this series. If he doesn't play the way he's played and being a great compliment to SGA, I think the Wolves have a much better chance at staying with this team and beating this team. But Williams has just been such a great offensive complement to SGA that it's killed the Wolves in a lot of different ways because they just can't seem to get ahead when SGA is not in the game or misses a shot. It just seems the next time down, Jalen Williams is picking him up.
Yeah, he's a prick.
And that's hurt the Wolves quite a bit.
Jalen, is that his name?
Jalen Williams.
He's a douchebag. Colby Jesus texted in and said, did anyone see the Minnesota Timberwolves fan in the stands last night in Oklahoma City? No, I did not. But was that the guy? Is that the guy we talked to last year that wears all the green, the bright green? We talked to him on the air last year because he was.
Yeah, I didn't see him.
Very happy. He's from Tennessee or something, but I didn't see him.
He goes to all of them.
Yeah.
I'm surprised he got a ticket.
He gets a ticket to whatever he seems to want, that guy. He's very adamant about it, or whatever the word might be.
He's a passionate fan.
A listener texted me yesterday and woke me up to something funny. We discussed this a day or 2 ago. You know, a lot of basketball fans think that Alexander is a fraudulent MVP, and all season, because of the soft touch fouls the guy is gifted by the referees, instead of calling the guy SGA for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, these basketball fans call him FTA, which stands for free throw attempt. That's creative, and I love creativity. So here the fellas are, down 2-rip.
Yep. Game
3 is at home tomorrow night. Anyone got any ideas? I mean, Brad came up with, okay, let's no longer try to put DiVincenzo on FTA. Let's drive the basket a little more and not rely on the three-point. How about fouling the hell out of these guys? Just empty the bench. Get Garza out there, Jalen Clark, Dillingham, Minot, Ingles, Shannon Jr., and just tell them, anytime FTA or that Williams guy makes a move for the basket, you foul them and foul them hard and just try to beat them up. Any thoughts on that strategy?
I don't think that's the right strategy.
No.
I think the
lame. You guys aren't going along with that, Ashley. So that's lame. Oh my God. You know what? I'm going to blame the front office for last night's loss.
Yeah?
I'm going to blame the front office. Who's running things now? Alex Rodriguez, Jennifer Lopez?
They're in charge.
Why are you blaming them?
Who's the guy that makes all the deals? What's his name?
Tim Connolly.
Tim Connolly. Because before the fourth quarter started last night, they should have made a deal for Tyrese Halliburton.
Was he available?
He was available.
Yeah.
The Knicks and Pacers don't play till tonight.
Yeah, nothing going on last night, Josh.
Unfortunately, we don't have any draft picks available because we gave them all up for Gobert.
Give him Naz Reid. Again, I brought him here. I can do whatever I want with Naz Reid.
Somebody texted in earlier and said this is all a big setup to get Durant here to play with A1 from day one.
Oh, God.
It's been in the works.
Jesus.
J-Lo approved.
I still love that idea.
I do, too.
Well,
it would be so fun.
Come up with something, gentlemen. You better come up with something.
I guess the hope here is that the home crowd will be a difference maker. I just have a feeling that if OKC can survive the first quarter and not get blown off the floor, which is possible, that's going to be a a hell of a battle tomorrow night because I think OKC smells blood. I think they feel like if they can steal one here, this whole thing is over.
Mm-hmm.
So
they think they're cute. They think they're funny. We'll straighten them out.
Yeah, there's basically two Game 7s coming up for the Wolves here at home. They need to win both of them.
Yep.
Anthony Edwards did pass Kevin Garnett last night, and he became the franchise's all-time leading scorer in playoff history.
I'd be A1 from day one.
I think he did it in 8 less games, too.
Oh, my God. Rudy Gobert was named to the NBA All-Defensive Second Team yesterday, if that matters at all to you. It's the 8th time he's been named to an All.
Not bad.
When did Rudy Gobert hit a three-point shot?
7th grade.
Maybe this was when he was playing on the French national team. Anyway, a listener just sent me a picture of Rudy Gobert wearing his French national team uniform. Looks like it's from quite a few years ago. Okay. He likely has. He's never hit a three-point basket in an NBA game, has he?
I couldn't tell you.
I would say odds are no, right?
Odds are no, but doesn't mean it hasn't.
Maybe he did.
I don't know.
Once.
Maybe, Dana, maybe you can find that for us. Has Rudy Gobert ever hit a three-pointer in an NBA game?
Not in an NBA game.
Okay, there you go. He never has.
He's attempted 14 threes, not made one, but he did make one in a friendly for France against Montenegro.
Okay, there you go. And that must be the source of this picture that was sent to me by a wonderful member of our listening audience. It's a direct quote from Rudy Gobert. The night he hit that one career three-pointer against Montenegro, after the game, he said, "Tonight, I feel like I lost my virginity."
What a dork.
I do remember that video from a couple of years ago when he hit that three. Like, even he looked just surprised as anybody else in the arena that it went in.
That must have been incredible. And, what was the last international tournament? Was the Olympics happening recently or something?
Yeah, Paris.
I forget these things so easily. Yeah, I remember, I think it was one of the preliminary Olympic games, and I'm watching the French team, and Gobert's wandering around out there, and he gets a pass at the three-point line, and the entire crowd stood up. Because they all thought, maybe. Because, he can miss a shot badly from 6 inches out. Imagine what he can do with a three-point shot if he tried them regularly. Knicks-Pacers game 2 tonight. Someone's going to get their ass kicked tonight.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Fun. It's going to be a fun atmosphere. Yeah. Fun.
Oh, it was so much fun watching Halliburton just tear those bastards' hearts out in New York City the other night. God, that was great. Oh, my God.
Both those teams are so evenly matched. It's just going to be a physical war.
Speaking of Tyrese Halliburton, here's what I saw going around the godless internet yesterday. Did Tyrese, that's not how you say it, did Tyrese Halliburton get away with a double dribble on the final?
He did.
On that game-tying shot.
And I think it's because he was changing direction at the time that he did it, that they probably missed it.
Well,
but he did. If you look at the replay.
Oh, no, there's no question about it.
Yeah.
But it's no surprise because modern-day NBA officials are by a landslide the worst officials in the history of organized sports at any level. So it's no surprise. Yes, he did commit a double dribble on that play, but who cares? It was beautiful. And I don't expect NBA referees to ever make the correct call. So the Denver Nuggets are going to go ahead and hire that David Adelman as their permanent head coach. Brad, I'm sure you're very happy for your little friend David Adelman.
I am.
Again, whose kid is he? Whose kid is he?
Rick Adelman.
You sure?
Former Timberwolves coach, Rick Adelman.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, well, that was in the business we call that a callback, don't we, Dana?
We do, yes.
Yes, I was saying a couple weeks ago that there has never been a father and son who look more opposite than Rick and David Adelman.
Yeah.
Kind of,
yeah.
Former Wolves assistant. I would be surprised if Ryan Saunders isn't back as his number one assistant too.
Oh.
I mean, the fact that they made a coaching change 3 days before the end of the regular season, and then he led them to winning a playoff series. Yeah, he should probably get the job.
That's very cool that he and Ryan Saunders will be coaching together.
It just annoys me, though, the fact that him and David Adelman and Saunders are my age. The fact that there are guys my age now coaching NBA teams, that just kind of annoys me.
Well, that's not when you get old.
I know, Josh, I know. I'm having a hard time dealing with it, though.
Man, Ryan Saunders, why is that a high school just pumps out winners? Just pumps out special people. I received this text message from a listener that says, Memorial Day weekend. You know what Brad Ryder always says? Break out the leather. This is sex cabin weather.
What? I don't think I've ever
always say
said
that, Brad.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what?
Totally.
It's funny. I've heard him say that.
Just
I thought
own
he
it,
named
man.
his boat sex cabin weather.
Is that not a direct quote from you, Brad? Is this person misquoting you?
Sure, I guess. Yeah.
Sex cabin weather, yes.
Although it's not really this weekend. It's supposed to be cool, right?
See, this man knows his sex weather, his sex cabin weather.
Well, but that's why you got a cabin, a little time away from the kids for something like
Brad Ryder, I'm not telling you anything you don't already know, but when you wear leather while having sex, 60 degrees becomes 110 pretty fast. I don't have to tell you that. Are you going up north this weekend, Brad, for the Memorial Day holiday?
Yeah, I think I'm actually going to drive out tomorrow and maybe stay through Tuesday, perhaps.
What's your favorite synth pop 80s song? We were earlier on this morning, we were celebrating some of the more odd synth pop 80s songs. And Brad, you know this stuff very well. You even up there on the farm in Clara City, you were listening to all the pop 80s tunes, and you went to see MC Hammer. And can you think? Here's what we covered already: Rock Me Amadeus.
Okay.
One Night in Bangkok.
Classic.
Major Tom.
Oh, I can't stand that song.
Oh, really? I like that one.
Oh.
Think about it for a minute.
I will.
While you're organizing, while you're organizing all the leather into the suitcases for the weekend, think about your favorite kind of quirky synth pop 80s song.
Okay.
I received a text message here from a local living legend, wrestling referee Rob Page. And he's right. Back to Rudy Gobert. He says, Rudy Gobert looks a lot like Leon from the movie The Professional.
He does kind of look like
Yeah, they do. I think they have been compared before. No offense, referee Rob Page. But I think that's one of my favorite movies of all time. Randy Shaver, Brad Ryder, The Professional.
I don't think I've seen it.
Ooh, it's about a assassin who befriends a little girl. And then he kills everybody. And then they kill him.
Oh, no.
That's the plot of The Professional. Did I nail it, Josh?
Yeah, that's about how it goes.
Forget about the Florida-Carolina series. That friggin' thing is over.
Yeah.
You didn't need to tell me to forget about it.
Well, yeah, you're not exactly dialed into this.
Not too plugged in.
All Southeastern Conference final. This one's over. Florida won Game 2 last night, 5-0. The Panthers have outscored the Hurricanes 10-2 in the first two games of the series. It's just not.
And that was in Carolina, too.
Yeah.
It wasn't even in Florida.
Both the first two games on the road. Florida looks far and above the better hockey club. Here, Game 2 of the Dallas Edmonton series is tonight in Texas. Frost 2. Charge 1 in overtime was the final in Game 2 of the PWHL Championship Series. So that series is tied at 1 win apiece. Game 3 tomorrow afternoon.
At home.
They play at home throughout the, the duration of the tournament, of these series, right? It's a 2-3.
Oh, it is. Okay.
I believe I'm right about that. Someone can look that up if they like.
Yep.
Is that right, Randy Shaver?
I think so, yeah.
It's a 2-3 type of an operation.
Going back to the NHL real quick, did you hear the audio of and I'm not going to remember the Edmonton player's name. It's their star player. Give me the star
Oh,
players.
McKinnon?
No, the other one.
Dreisaitl.
No, there's another one.
Oh.
No, who's the other one? There's the other one. They're
Gretzky.
No.
What the hell is his name?
You know who I'm talking? The goal scorer.
Yeah. 29 is his number.
Charlie Conway.
No, 29 is Dreisaitl.
After game 1, where they lost to Dallas.
Yeah.
There's audio of him absolutely bitching out his teammates in the locker room. There must have been a camera guy for a local station or something outside the doors waiting to go in.
McDavid.
That's it. Waiting to go in.
Yeah.
And he captured the audio of he just, I mean.
He laid into him?
Oh, my God. Nick, he's just like taking no prisoners. I mean, he was just, and everybody's like stopped.
That sounds very interesting.
Stopped. Like, I mean, he got their attention. He was super pissed.
F-bombs and everything?
Oh, yeah. Oh, very much so.
Winner. No, wait a minute. It's the other way around. Loser,
winner.
Oh, so he chewed him out.
Good.
Huh?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Well, that's funny. I like that kind of thing. You know, I suppose he's the leader of that hockey club. Who's going to tell him to sit down and shut up, right?
Exactly.
Josh has to straighten us out like that from time to time.
You guys get a little out of control.
Gets a little violent, gets a little scary.
I came up with an obscure 80s hit.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I'm trying to think of who sung I Want to Be a Cowboy. That one?
Yeah.
Kid Rock?
No.
I'm kidding.
I want
Was
to
it
be
Boys Don't Cry?
That sounds right.
Yeah.
And you can be my cowgirl.
I like that one. Yeah, we were kind of playing the weird ones.
That's a good one, Brad, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a terrible song, but we asked you to name a quirky 80s. Yeah, it's really bad.
It's bad. It's almost so bad that it was good. That's why it was played all the time.
Yeah, some of those songs, right? They're so bad that they're crossed over to good. That's kind of what we were talking about earlier.
Randy Shaver, people are texting in saying the Conrad McDavid meltdown was from last year's Stanley Cup Finals.
Oh, it was.
Whatever.
Okay.
Who cares? I like a good locker room blowout.
I thought it was this year because he had referenced how bad they had played and blew the lead or whatever in game 1. So.
I love a good locker room blow up on the bench. It's all good.
I got one more, but I don't want to take up the whole time with it.
What are you talking about?
We love
another song?
This is what we do.
Party all the time by Eddie Murphy.
Oh, sure. Yeah, that's very synth heavy. Unbelievable that actually became a big hit.
Right.
Yes.
But Eddie Murphy could have farted and put it on record, and people would have bought it in 1986. Who produced the record for him, Brad Ryder? Who produced the record?
I've heard this. I should know it. I don't know. I forgot.
His name was Rick James, bitch.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Rick James, yeah.
I'm one of the baddest mother effers in the world. Oh, it's terrible.
We had
talk about your cliche cookie cutter garbage pop song.
I
That's
love
what this
it.
is.
my neighbor across the alley. He was one of my best friends, and he had a sister, and their dad would always tease her, and he'd sing "My Girl Likes to Potty" all the time, and it drove her absolutely insane.
That would drive me insane.
So I'm reading the Wikipedia about this album right now, and he says it was mainly put out because Eddie Murphy wanted to win a $100,000 bet with Richard Pryor. Richard Pryor said there's no way he could sing or ever put out an actual album that would sell. So it was a $100,000 bet between him and Pryor.
I don't believe a word of it. Eddie Murphy was an arrogant prick back then and really thought he was a legitimate pop star. I don't believe a word of that.
In the album's liner notes, Eddie Murphy writes, "To Richard Pryor, my idol with whom I have a $100,000 bet with, no mother effer, I did not forget."
That's what I would say, too, if I was about ready to release a garbage album. The Twins have won 14 of their last 16 games. They're going to spend the weekend at home playing ball games against the Kansas City Royals. Carlos Correa coming back into the mix?
Yep.
That's what I heard. After being poked and prodded upside down by the big league baseball concussion protocol gimmick. Buck, the quote I read was trending in the right direction. Twins, Royals.
A couple 1 o'clock games, too, Saturday and Sunday. I like that.
I don't like those.
Oh.
I don't like the 1 o'clock games at all.
Don't want to interfere with the Wolves.
Timberwolves. No, I suppose they don't. I see that Red Sox fans haven't changed much. Former Twins pitcher Liam Hendricks has been receiving death threats from Red Sox fans because he apparently hasn't pitched well enough so far this baseball season. He and his family have been threatened, and fans have recommended that he commit suicide and have wished him to die of cancer.
This is a guy that came back.
I was going to say he's a cancer survivor. I mean, it's bad enough when you're going to threaten somebody to begin with, but good grief. Seriously.
Boston's having a terrible year right now. They are. They've got all this talent, and they just have wet the bed. I mean, they're a game under 500. They're not playing well. Yeah. A lot of expectations for that team. Not as much as Baltimore, but there's a lot of expectations.
How could you just go ahead and do that? Get online and what's the matter with everybody? Here's a text here. Eddie Murphy came out with a reggae album a few years. Yeah, I know. Don't get me wrong. I love Eddie Murphy. He's one of the greatest comics to ever live. But his music was dog feces. Top to bottom, everything, except for Boogie in Your Butt. Butcher's Hack Jesus has texted me to remind me that it's only 76 days until Jalen Hurts' birthday.
Oh, that's good. You knew that already, though. It's in your calendar.
Yeah, yesterday I adopted the Philadelphia Eagles as my new favorite football team. I'm going to dedicate all of my free time to the Philadelphia Eagles. So thank you for that reminder that I got 76 days until I can recognize Jalen Hurts' birthday. Very thoughtful of you. After 50 baseball games, the Colorado Rockies are 8-42.
They're going to challenge the White Sox from last.
Oh yeah.
Oh, they've already
on pace.
passed the White
They're going to blow right past that easily.
Yeah.
So
I think I read yesterday it's the worst start since like before the turn of the 19th century.
Yeah, the dawn of time, basically. The dawn of time. They're going to blow way past what do you call that club from Chicago? The White Sox. They're going to blow past them easily. And we'll do this all season.
They're on pace to lose 136 games.
That would be awesome.
Ouch.
We'll give you an update throughout the baseball season, just like we did with the White Sox last year. This is the worst 50-game start in, like Randy said, since the dawn of time.
Right.
Since the sport was made into a profession.
We're starting to talk again about the Cleveland Spiders. That's how bad they are.
Right.
If you start talking Cleveland Spiders, you know you're in trouble. Yeah.
I just looked up their home attendance, though. They're still drawing. They're drawing 25,000 a game.
They got a happy crowd out there.
And that ballpark's amazing. This is a fun place to hang out.
The ballpark is amazing.
That could be juiced, though, too, don't you think?
Maybe a little bit, but
yeah, I'm not so sure they're doing that.
That's still, for a team that's that bad, even if they're only drawing 20,000 a game, that's pretty good.
They're a pretty laid-back, happy crowd out there. So they don't give a rat's ass. They just want to go to a ball game in the sun and sit around and...
Oh, the rock pile up in right field, that's fun. Oh, man, that's a lot of fun.
I told you, we want to talk a laid-back vibe. I told you about when I went to, what do they call these buildings now that sell weed? Dispensary. I went to one of those in Colorado. Not that I have any interest in drugs. That's what they are.
Yeah.
But these people I was hanging out with, they wanted some drugs. So we walked in the front door of this dispensary, and dude at the front desk, fully reclined in a chair, fully reclined with his feet up on the table. We walk in. For the first 10 seconds, he doesn't even look in our direction. There was no one else anywhere near this dispensary. For the first 10 seconds, he doesn't even look in our direction. He's reading a book or something. Then he finally lifts his eyes to us, pauses another 5 seconds, and says exactly this. Yeah? And we said, well, we'd like to look at the drugs.
One drug, please.
And he says, yeah, all right. He hits a buzzer, and then the second door opened, and we were allowed to go in.
What? How do you read that situation?
That was their version of customer service. So in Colorado, they don't really care. They just want to chill.
Pretty laid back.
All right, well, that's it for us, Randy Shaver and Brad Ryder, for the week.
Yeah.
Ultimate.
Will the Timberwolves still be playing when we convene again?
Hope so.
Nope.
Oh.
Randy Shaver says nope.
I don't think so.
Yeah, you're probably right, but
I don't think so.
Somebody joked earlier, they texted in, it says it's going to be Oklahoma in 3. Somehow they're going to win. That's how dominant they've been.
Feels like that.
The Wolves just tap out on Saturday night. You know what? Let's not even come back Monday. We're done here.
Right. We'll all see each other at Randy's event before we talk.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that
you
is
are correct.
before we come back. Yep.
Yeah.
All right, you guys have a wonderful week away from this nightmare, a great Memorial Day. And I suppose, yeah, like Brad said, the next time we'll run into you is at Randy's big fundraiser here in about a week. So you guys take care.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. We'll be back in a few minutes here on the 93X Half-Ass Morning Show.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Well, if it isn't our wonderful podcast listener, the ones that all of us on hams love the most. Dana here to give you a little gentle reminder to hit up our friends at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning and tune up that AC before it fully turns into crotch soup season. June through August are Standard's busy season for getting AC units up to snuff, so get ahead of the curve and have them ensure you don't have a summer where you pit out every shirt you own. Book in May during their pre-summer heat savings event, and you'll beat the rush and save yourself some walking around money. Call Standard Heating today or visit standardheating.com. Enjoy the show. We sincerely appreciate you checking us out each and every day.
Nightly Scroll with Haley Carania.
It is Haley Carania. I'm excited to be here because there's a lot to scroll through on X, on Instagram, on TikTok, on Truth Social. Love seeing you all in the chat before the show. I tried to jump in just a few minutes before to say hello. I love the chat interaction. Thank you for helping. Love all my homies that I get to scroll with. If you want to listen, Nightly Scroll with Haley is where you can find me. Just search that up and I will be there. We've got to spread the word far and wide.
Nightly Scroll with Haley Carania. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
Half-Assed Morning Show. 93X.
We're rounding the corner and approaching the home stretch here on the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. Hopefully a lot of our listeners are in the same situation. And what a terrific crowd we've got out there. We appreciate you very much. Very, very much. Did anyone see the pictures of the Chinese dude whose head has damn near come disconnected from his spine from bending his neck forward and looking at his cell phone?
Yeah. What do they call that? Like phone neck or so? I can't remember what they call it.
Here's what I have, Josh.
Cute.
Dropped head syndrome?
Yeah, that's probably the technical
Did you see that? Here's a picture, actually, if you didn't see. This is the kid's current condition from bending.
Oh, my gosh. That looks awful.
I worry about that sometimes. Like, think, oh, wait, my neck's a little... What am I doing to myself?
Well, but you don't max out on cell phones like some other people do.
No, I can certainly put mine down. But like reading articles and stuff on my tablet, I usually do it on the treadmill just because I sit the 90% of the day.
All right.
And so I'll have to like put my arm out and scroll, right? Sometimes my shoulder starts killing me because I don't work like a real man. So I think, oh my God, I've got iPad arm.
Yeah.
Reaching out to scroll.
Like read the next article or scroll on the same page.
And the one of your shoulders locks
my
up on you.
rotator cuff is ridiculous. Please don't make fun of me. I know
okay.
I'm a wimp.
Josh gets Tommy John surgery from reading on the treadmill.
Oh, it'd be what's the guy's name? There's a John that at Apple that describes or makes all those. I got to look him up.
All right, people are telling me this condition where your head just about falls smooth off your shoulders from staring down at your cell phone for too many hours. People are telling me this is also known as tech neck.
Oh, yes. Yep.
Tech neck.
That's the one I was thinking of. Tech
Okay.
neck, yes.
Dropped head syndrome is what I was reading. The pictures are frightening.
Yes, very. Unsettling.
I found him on the Chive. I don't know if we want to put that picture of the kid up on our website, or do we want to leave him alone? I don't know.
I thought we did maybe like a week ago.
This kid?
Yeah.
Oh, did we have this conversation?
There was an no, we didn't have it.
Oh.
Sometimes I'll just send her stuff that we don't get to. Like, it was an article on this. I don't know if it's the same kid. I can't remember. Maybe we can bump that up if you did.
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah, tech neck. Everybody's texting that in.
There's part of his spine, where his spine connects to his neck, is pushing out his skin. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It almost looks like he has a little stegosaurus spine.
Yes.
My God. Hours and hours and hours and hours of gaming and scrolling.
Ouch, bud.
This turned into months, which turned into years.
This texter calls it crotch neck. Everyone looking at their cell phone always looks to this person that they're staring at their crotch.
Sure.
Yeah. I suppose from the back, right?
Yeah?
Yes, it looks like you're looking at your own gear. He developed.
I usually look at others.
Yeah.
That's a smart thing to do.
He developed a pronounced bulge at the back of his neck. That's what I was just describing. He's unable to lift his head. What have we done to ourselves? What have some of you done to your... Also known as floppy head syndrome. It's rare. Yeah, but it won't be rare for long. I bet you in the next 20, 25 years.
It's something you don't want to be floppy.
No, your neck? No, you don't want that sumbitch
head
floppy.
Syndrome, no.
No, you want that thing to be somewhat sturdy. There's a curvature in the spine. This condition is usually seen in old folks who have, their neck muscles have given way.
Yeah.
ALS,
like
Parkinson's sometimes. But it's happening to young people from staring at the telephone. The cell phone, I guess I should say, specifically.
Simon says. Tech neck. On the topic of tech neck, he hears if you remove a rib, it makes it easier to read.
Oh, yeah.
Good advice.
Oh, these photos are so frightening, though. He can't lift his head up.
Ow.
His neck finally said, look, you want to look down? Fine. We'll look down for the rest of your damn life.
No.
Yeah, if you like looking down so much.
Yeah. You want to be the mayor of looking down? I'll make you the...
It makes my neck uncomfortable.
I know. I get a headache looking at it. They're talking about surgery to try to fix this kid.
Yeah, that's very 2025, is it not?
Yeah, come on.
I wonder if, doctors, are they going to have to take a whole class in tech neck?
I don't know. Now, what about little temporary wear and tear like effects on your body? I've told you before, I have sat on the toilet so long that my legs stopped working. I once sat on a bar stool for so long that my legs stopped working, and it was... The toilet episode was concerning. I passed out on a toilet. It was concerning, but after a brief period of time, the blood began to rush back into my limbs, and I was able to... The bar stool episode was much more frightening because it didn't correct itself when I got off the bar stool. I could not walk. I could not walk for quite a period of time. I still am not 100% sure what happened there. But those are little temporary. Like, Dana, you're a gamer. Mm-hmm. Have you mangled your hands from too many hours of consecutive gaming?
There was a game called Mario Party. Well, there still is a series called Mario Party. But back in the day on the Nintendo 64, they had the little joystick. I think you can all picture what I'm talking about. And Nintendo got sued, and they had to issue free gloves to put over your hand because the way you had to move that joystick so fast with the palm of your hand that people were getting seriously injured by it. And that happened to me a little bit.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Oh, man, you must have played a lot.
Right now, though, I'm dealing with some serious, talking about little minor aches and pains from dumb things. I was hunched over building a Lego set yesterday. My lower back is killing me right now.
Yeah.
I'm in severe pain.
Were you building it for like a young person?
Oh, no, Josh. See, I was building it to display for myself in my basement.
I see. This text says, is anyone else stretching backwards with their neck yet during this article? Yeah, I was. I started rubbing my neck.
Same here.
And by the way, this is the first time I've ever seen a text from this person, a new Jesus to me at least. This is from CPR with a little tongue, Jesus. Just a little bit.
Man.
I mean, just a touch.
No, I appreciate that.
It's not gratuitous.
I appreciate it that it's not gratuitous.
No, it's a respectful amount.
And it's probably doing it in honor of Squints from Sandlot, you know? It's just, a little respectable CPR tongue.
Oh, that's a Sandlot reference?
Well, I don't know if it is or not, but the character in the Sandlot in the famous scene where he pretends to drown so that Wendy Peppercorn, the lifeguard, has to jump in and save him. And then she's giving him CPR and he grabs her, and as the narrator says, he kissed a woman that day. He kissed her long and good.
Oh, man. That's creepy.
Never saw it. That's how I'm going to come back, Josh, when I say one day have a terrible cardiac episode. I'm going to come back to a paramedic who's delivering CPR with a little bit of tongue.
Yeah, I hope it's that one.
If I'm lucky.
Just a little tongue.
No, I get it.
That's it.
I get it. Others are referring to this dropped head syndrome from looking at your phone for years and years. You're looking straight down at your phone. You're scrolling. You're gaming. We've heard dropped head syndrome. We've heard tech neck. I've heard another text came in referring to it as shrimp back. You get a case of shrimp back.
Oh, that's
Looks
a good
like
way
it, yeah.
Do you remember, Josh, back when we were young and we would go to video arcades, back when they were still a thing?
I loved that.
Of course.
I mean, the sound, everything was so awesome.
It was also, as we've noted before, the most dangerous spot in any town.
And it was a quarter. I know we sound old, but I mean, now it's like you really have to save up to go to an arcade.
It was a quarter to play a video game.
Wow.
Within minutes of walking in the door, you were usually made to feel uncomfortable in many different ways. There was usually a pervert in the corner leering. So you're made to feel uncomfortable in that way. You were almost immediately offered hard street drugs by a guy who was way too old to be in the arcade. And then there were fights. There was violence. There was drinking.
I was threatened once.
Yeah.
I have another friend who was threatened.
But while we're talking about these wear and tear type injuries, some of them temporary, some permanent, did you ever get to, or maybe you were one of these guys, I don't think you were one of, did you ever play video games next to a guy who wore his gloves?
Oh, I've seen those guys.
No, I haven't.
Like the grippy gloves, so when he's playing track and field or Miss Pac-Man, his hands don't slip off the controllers, and there goes 25 cents.
Yeah, the little the fingerless gloves.
Yes, exactly.
Mm-hmm. You can still see those in the arcades today. You can see some old timers there that are.
Seriously?
Yeah, they still bring those things out.
I know you and I both have seen people donate blood at Golden Tee with how violent they'd hit that trackball. This person says they wish their lady would get drop neck syndrome. They've got a couple suggestions on how she could do that.
Drop it down somewhere.
Angry bus driver Jesus doesn't want a little tongue. He just wants some tasteful tonguing. Just make it tasteful more than anything.
I understand.
Super fat 7XL Jesus said he has the opposite neck problem. Too many years of looking up to spot UFOs. And so now he has to keep his mouth closed when it rains because he's afraid he's going to drown.
What?
I have no idea what's happening with that character. Phone addiction has gotten so bad, people are going to resorts where they lock your phone away.
I can see it. It's almost like rehab.
That'd be fine.
No, you wouldn't.
That would probably be nice.
You wouldn't be fine.
Why?
I wonder if you would be fine.
I didn't have a smartphone for, probably like 4 months there, and I was all right.
Oh, yeah. When I first met you, actually, you didn't have a smartphone.
Yeah, it was pretty nice.
I'm not betting
on like all the social media and stuff.
No offense, Ashley, but I'm not betting on anyone under 40 to be fine with someone locking away their phone.
Am I with the people I want to be with?
Pardon me?
Am I with the people
No, you're at some kind of wacky resort.
Oh yeah, I was wondering if it's like a vacation.
No.
I could go there with like my fiance.
Like Dana compared it to rehab. You're being locked away with strangers.
Oh, that'd be just boring. Yeah, I don't want to do that.
You couldn't make it. That's the situation. Phone and screen addiction has gotten to the point where some people are making trips to these resorts. They lock your phone away. They kick your ass. They give you a good talking to. No TVs either. You can't watch television.
You know, it's funny. You guys know I'll kill a show from like 8 p.m. till 2 a.m. on a Friday and then repeat that on a Saturday. Other than that, we don't really watch TV during the week. But I get uncomfortable. I think both of us have had this situation where we dated somebody who just didn't watch TV, and it was weird for me that they didn't have a TV in their house.
Oh,
For whatever reason, it made me uncomfortable. I'm like, well, what if something big happens? Or, I mean, you don't even have a TV? And it wasn't because it was a money thing. It was just she chose not to have it. And there's only one person I've ever met.
I can't imagine not having a television there so I can watch a ball game. I can't imagine that.
And this was pre-smartphone, so it couldn't be like, if you're missing a game, you just ask your smartphone, hey, what's the score of this?
This was a gal you were dating?
Yeah, this was shortly after high school.
She was religious, wasn't she?
Not really, no. No.
What was going on there? She just said...
She was a little eccentric.
Eccentric. Okay.
You might
makes more sense.
Hippie. Kind of hippie-ish.
Sure.
So I saw a fact today that said the average attention span now is 47 seconds, which is down from 2.5 minutes in 2004.
That almost sounds high.
47 seconds?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, how long is, like there was Vine, right, where 7-second videos.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like our TikTok videos, are there length restrictions on that?
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I've never really messed with TikTok.
Oh, is there a video service you guys watch? Like Instagram
I guess
Reels?
They're usually like under 60 seconds.
Okay.
Yeah.
This person said they love that there's no self-service at a cabin. You hate it for the first hour and then forget about it and get drunk.
That definitely helps.
This article about phone addiction and folks being locked up, beaten, and their phone is taken away. They do talk about, which is so funny to me, they talk about the withdrawal, like a trembling junkie. But there are some success stories here where there are some people who adjust within 48 hours. And at least they walk away from the joint saying, I'm never going to make a return to digital life. At least they walk away from it. But how many drunks and drug addicts have walked out of rehab and said, well, that's it for me with the drinking and the heroin.
Yeah.
And then a week later. But
even if you're not an addict, like I'm sure you have had friends who are like, they have a wild night and say, I'm never drinking again. I'm done. I'm not going to get drunk one more time.
Hell
and then
yeah.
They're the first one to get drunk again.
Some workplaces are getting in on this trend and offering wellness programs to help employees dump their addiction to their friggin' cell phones. Back to the no TV thing. And then we got to take a break. I mean, I'm also not a big television watcher outside of ball games. I don't give two pumps about movies, series. I don't get into it. Don't care. Every once in a while, of course, I'll watch a movie or watch it, but I have very little idea what's going on in that department. But I can't imagine not having a television there to watch a game. That means a lot to me. And I'll just give you this little story about a guy that I used to see around quite often. I haven't seen him in years. He had a couple little boys. And this guy's wife did not allow television in their home. She just didn't. My pal went along with it. P-whipped, sorry sumbitch that he was, went along with it. His two boys never saw television. The only time they did is when my pal would bring them to one of our homes or bring them to someone's workplace to visit and say hi. And I'll just tell you this, Josh. Those kids would walk in, a couple little boys, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 years old. And you know how they're kind of playing with each other and giggling as they walk into the room. When they walked into the room, if there was a TV up in the corner or sitting on a table, they would freeze and stare. It was like the Alien movies when the alien would hit you with the ray gun and you would just, and you couldn't move and you couldn't blink. It was really, really unsettling to me.
Weird.
Especially, I remember once they walked in and saw The Simpsons, and both kids were just drop jaw, dumbfounded, and I could tell that my pal was embarrassed by this. But
I wonder what that is about TV and stuff. I mean, if there's one on, I'll always look to see what's going on.
Hey, what's going on over there?
Yeah. I mean, even if I'm not really in a mood to watch TV, I'll take a look.
Yeah.
I get uncomfortable at bars that don't have a TV just up there, even if there's nothing on necessarily that's interesting. It's just something to look at.
It is what it is. We're damn near done with Ultimate F-Off Day. Damn near. We were having a conversation about life without technology. Life without your precious little cellular telephone. Life without television. Oof. Like it's 1943 all over again. Hey, our grandparents made it just fine, didn't they, Josh?
Yeah, I think about that quite often, actually.
And I think it's safe to say they were better people than we are.
A lot of times you're probably right.
They weren't getting into fist fights at the hardware stores over perceived political issues, I bet.
No, there were some real issues.
They were actually fully functioning, mature adults. We're running low on those these days. Anyway, life without technology. Got a text message here from, I believe this was Baudette Fishing Guide Jesus, who says, I got a buddy who's strange as hell. He had no television for almost 2 decades. I went out and got him a fully functional flat screen television. And years later, it's got 2 inches of dust on it. Some bitch hasn't turned it on yet.
Stresses me out.
I'll take it.
There was a time, Josh knows this, when we were younger people, there was a time when I did not watch television for a stretch. I did not turn on the television for quite a while because, and Josh tried to get to the bottom of this. He tried to help me, but he couldn't quite figure it out. I didn't turn on the television, Ashley, because I was convinced that the television told secrets about me.
Yeah. You started at a young age with Mr. Rogers. I remember.
It's terrifying.
Right? He could see you through the TV.
Oh, that's right. You are telling.
Yeah.
You are telling a true story there. Yeah, my folks told me that Mr. Rogers could see me through the television, and I bought it, of course, because I was a stupid little kid.
Yeah.
All little kids are stupid.
Yep.
I bought it, and one day I excitedly ran out of my bedroom with just my little underwears on, and
of course,
sat on my parents' broken, beer-stained and cigarette-burned couch. And turned on their garbage black and white television because it was about time for So there I am in my little drawers, and Mr. Rogers comes on, whatever song he used to sing to start the show. I wish you were my neighbor or whatever. And I sat there, grinning ear to ear, and then suddenly as he began to speak, it dawned on me. Well, he's seeing me in my underwear.
Oh no!
That must have been very embarrassing.
I wasn't, so I ran back into my bedroom. I put some pants on.
That's a good call.
Speaking of
cute,
relying on technology and all that, Josh, here's a listener. Yeah, I knew this would come up when we're talking about technology. What about the kid who shoved the video controller up his butt because his parents shut off his video? Yes, what about that kid who shoved the... Everyone knows that video,
dark
right?
Video. Yes, of course.
My damn.
You don't forget something like that.
He's screaming, and he's attempting to put a video game controller in his bottom.
Angry.
I try and empathize with people, and I try and see a positive, and I think the positive is he's passionate about something.
Yeah.
Sure is.
And all of us should be that passionate about something.
That's a great way to look at it,
Let me
Josh.
rephrase that. Maybe not that passionate about something, but very passionate about something that brings us joy.
That is friggin' hilarious. We found out years later that was a setup, right?
I believe it was all a joke.
All right, but it was still one of the greatest things I've ever...
Yeah.
Here we are, closing out Ultimate F-Off Day, Ultimate F-Off Week. A listener texted in to say, raise your hand if you're ready. Raise your hand if you're ready to tell the boss to F off and start drinking beer. Yeah, we're at that point. Next stop, Josh's house party tonight.
Tonight's the night.
Next stop, Josh's house party tonight. Hey, you know what? Maybe you'll remember this story from a couple weeks ago. You know what, Josh? I'm feeling, I'm down for a 93X party.
That's the only way to party, man.
When I get there, Josh, all I ask of you is to point out which bedroom Janelle and I will be crashing in.
Yeah, you got a couple choices, I guess. We've got the queen-size bed, so maybe you want ours versus a twin bed. That's the only other one we have. Or we got couches.
Maybe you want the twin bed.
Yeah.
Closer.
Well, she's the Norwegian ox. She'd take up a lot of that bed.
She clears out a lot of space.
Yeah, she's pretty tall.
When she gets comfortable.
I'm worried that you guys aren't going to think it's cool, right? Like you're going to leave and be disappointed. So I came up with a plan.
We were talking earlier about how even though Josh has known all of us for years now, he's nervous about hosting this house party. You're nervous.
I truly have
been. We won't have a good time. We won't think you're cool.
That
we won't like the food. You're not a good. What? You came up with a plan?
I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to contact the Eagan Police Department and just ask them, like, is there any way you could swing by my house and say you got a noise complaint? Or, hey, you guys are partying a little too hard over here.
That's not a bad idea.
So even if you told us. So.
Even if you're bored, then Ashley, you might go, well, the cops did come, so it must have been kind of a fun party.
There's 3 cars in the driveway.
Yeah.
A clock radio playing music in the house party, but they're responding to a noise complaint. That sounds fun. That would up your rep in the neighborhood.
Oh, yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
As a bad boy.
Yeah, so if any Eagan cops are listening, just swing over and make it seem like I really know how to throw a rager.
Josh, we're back at your house again.
Thank you to the lovely and talented helicopter fixerer Sheezes checking in from Hackensack, Minnesota.
Oh, is that
morning.
right?
Yep. Best of luck to Big Dreams Jeebus. He said a doctor is going to finger bang his nose today. He's having some urgery.
Fun.
So hope that goes okay.
Dang, right up in the old horn,
yeah,
huh?
Some schnoz surgery.
I'll be damned.
Shout out to somehow, some way, still sober Jesus and his smoking hot fiance getting married next Saturday. We are taking some time off next week for the holiday and for a camera up my butt. True story. So please have a great, safe weekend again. We'll be back on the 2nd. Hope you'll join us. Thanks as always, and talk to you in about a week.
93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
93X. Well, if it isn't our wonderful podcast listener, the ones that all of us on Hams love the most. Dana here to give you a little gentle reminder to hit up our friends at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning and tune up that AC before it fully turns into crotch soup season. June through August are Standard's busy season for getting AC units up to snuff, so get ahead of the curve and have them ensure you don't have a summer where you pit out every shirt you own. Book in May during their pre-summer heat savings event, and you'll beat the rush and save yourself some walking around money. Call Standard Heating today or visit standardheating.com. Enjoy the show. We sincerely appreciate you checking us out each and every day.